They hate when you elevate, they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, yeah. They hate when you elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way too fly, yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation, now I got rollies, all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Swatting all black like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. I ain't make it this far for myself, yeah. I had to prove to everybody else, I had to set them straight, yeah. I had to ball, so I had to renovate. I know they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah. I had to go delegate.
What's poppin', RC?
Feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, yeah. They hate when you elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, yeah. I had to elevate.
What's good to the community? What's good? What's really good, man? Ray Davis running a little late, but you know, we gonna hold it down, ain't we? Hope everybody's doing well. You know, obviously in good spirits. Salute to everybody who's in here right now. Please, as you're coming in the building, don't forget to hit the like button on your way in. Let's get the channel up and going so it's on that algorithm where it needs to be. Yeah, we talking boxing tonight, guys. You know how it is. You know what I mean? Regular over here. Definitely wanted to dab into some interesting conversation tonight. Speaking, you guys might have saw the thumbnail said evolve, right? Tier level shit. Excuse my French, just cussing online now. We're monetized now, so we got to be careful of the language, right? But you know, watching these fighters develop, these young fighters develop and hit the next level. Salute to Solitude in the building. Salute to you, Solitude. Yeah, fighter development, man. And as these fighters are going up to the next levels in their careers, as we're seeing, it seems like when we're looking at Shakur Stevenson evolving right now, and that he's kind of hitting this wall where there's this big question as to whether or not he's ever going to be able to hit that entertainment milestone, that milestone that's going to push him over into the spaces and in the same conversations as the Tank Davises, the Canelo Alvarezes, you know what I mean? Even like the David Benavidezes, the Isaac Cruzes, all these fighters that seem to be moving over into the next step of their career, which is becoming real great prize fighters, looking to get that money, looking to get that payola, looking to get asses in seats, right? And you're watching fighters like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. I can mention, go down a list of fighters right now that are having a hard time crossing over into that space right now. It's pretty, it's interesting to see from the outside looking in, because there seems to be two parts to the game at this point. You obviously have the boxing part of the game where, you know, these fighters are unquestionably great boxers, great competitors in the sport that they've been fighting in, most of them since they've been in their single digit years, right? 8 years old, 7 years old, 9 years old, whatever have you. So they've mastered that, and they're getting better at that as well, but they don't seem to be able to transition to the next chapter, which is entertaining the fans, right? Being the business side of boxing. And people are questioning everything. They're questioning their trainers, they're questioning their fighting style, they're questioning their approach to the game. Us as fans, we seem to hold the ultimate judgment, right? We hold the ultimate idea of if you're successful or not. I noticed that Shakur Stevens getting into with Cameron and getting into it with the people he's been getting into it, you know, is gotten into a space where even Terrence Crawford tapped into this, where it was F the fans, right? Who cares what the fans think? Well, I would argue and push back on all those fighters who think that way, that You guys care what the fans think. You guys should care what the fans think, because believe it or not, not to sound like petty or try to make small of it or make bigger or something than it needs to be. But I mean, we're buying the pay-per-views, right? We're buying we're buying the plane tickets. We're buying the hotels. We're buying the tickets to the events. We're out here creating the content. I would say it matters a little bit what we say, a little bit more than what they want to admit. And being that we hold the last judgment, the final judgment as to whether or not you are the face of boxing, us as consumers should definitely be a big concern for these fighters, right? Salute, RC said they just got to fight each other. 100% from a fan's point of view, RC, that's what it comes down to. Seeing these fighters fight each other, seeing the best fight the best, seeing the fights that we want to see. But what's the process for these fighters at this point? Well, we look at Shakur Stevenson, who just had a performance this weekend, talking a lot of talk, trying to entertain the media side of the game, right? He's on Twitter. He's doing interviews. He's calling out fighters. He's calling out promotional companies. He's calling out content creators. He's trying to get into the controversy of it all. But what ends up happening is he's not crossing over in the ring, right? He's not delivering in the ring. With Shakur Stevens, you see him going through it with his grandfather, right? With Moses in the corner, a lot of back talking going on. We could look at it a couple of different ways. We'll never know exactly what's going on in that camp. But ultimately, all these fighters across the board, whether it's Teofimo, whether it's Shakur Stevenson, whether it's Floyd Schofield, whether it's even right now Subriel Matias, all these fighters seem to have a hard time transitioning their style into being an exciting style or an effective style that's going to get them to the big show, right? Subriel Matias, a big puncher, pressure fighter. Seems that we found a little hole, a chink in his armor, right? That when somebody boxes him, takes their time and boxes him, and they keep him from settling his feet, and he's having a hard time, translating that style that's exciting the crowd into something that's going to get him a victory. Teofimo's been able to freestyle his way up to this point, not necessarily needing no exact organization, almost an organized confusion with the way he comes into the ring. And it seems like getting into this chapter in his career that it's going to start becoming difficult for him to just freestyle. He's going to have to start jumping into some real strategy, really putting some things together. Let me see. Eastside, Cameron Mace did the young man dirty. Hey, man, listen. I think Cameron Mace, I don't know if Shakur Stevens got awakening from what happened with Cameron Mace, but I think Cameron Mace, in my opinion, tapped into some real talk with the boy. I mean, they're from Harlem, so, they're going to burn you up. They're going to run the dozens with you. And you know what I'm saying? They're going to do you dirty. But I think the main point to everything they were saying is you focus on so many things, man. Focus on doing what you're supposed to do in that ring to get those asses in the seats. Focus on doing that. You focus on running up on us, talking about we need to stay strapped, talking about what we need to be thinking that we don't know nothing. Meanwhile, we the one covering your ass. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Who is this? Do you drop a link?
Me?
Yeah.
What? Where?
Hold on a second. Yo, how'd you get in here? Salute.
Oh, that's my boy. Yeah, I did drop it. My bad. I said.
Okay.
What's up, D?
Okay.
My bad.
What are we talking about?
We just talking about boxing, bro. I ain't mean to drop the link and bring you in. My bad, man. I got to send you the other link.
All right, send me the other link. I'll leave.
I will talk to you soon. I was like, what the hell was this?
My bad. I definitely did drop the wrong link. My bad.
But I think Cameron Mace jumped into a serious important thing with Shakur to let him know that, look, this ain't about us, man. We just reporting it. We calling it how we see it. You want to dismiss the way we as fans are processing what you're delivering to us as product, as consumers, and you want to discredit our opinions, and you want to start throwing shots at us saying we don't know nothing about boxing. You're more interested in doing that. Or remember, Ray, I talked to you. I said the OG one time told me you got two choices in life. You can either be happy or you can be right. Very seldomly are those two things on the same playing field, right? At the same time. Very rarely is you're right and happy at the same time. Every now and then you're right and you're happy, But a lot of times, if you really want to be honest with yourself, being happy and right, especially as married men, right? As married men, you start to realize like you got to make a choice. You could be happy or you could be right. And Shakur Stevenson, you can either be a big boxing superstar, getting top billing, making the most money, being competitive in your wages, or in the money you're making in comparison to the Tanks and all them, or you could be right, and everybody could just not know what the hell they're talking about and not be and not be ranked high enough or educated high enough to criticize you. And you could just be this boxer who just has it all locked down. You just have an understanding that we don't have an understanding. We really should just shut our mouths. You could do that. You could do that. It sounds like that's what you are doing. I don't see how the road to victory, as far as what you seem to be completely, what's the word I'm looking for, Ray? When you're consumed with something, when you're infatuated with something, when you're completely.
I mean, I would say like when you're I'm trying now. You lost me. It's it's EN or IN. Is it IN? Basically, it's just having too much. To put it simply, it's just basically you're doing too much negative energy.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
With impressing everyone else.
No. What I'm saying is he's consumed, right? When somebody's consumed with something.
You said obsessed. Karma said obsessed.
That's the word. Karma, that's my girl right there. Salute Karma Serene in a bit.
Right there. Look, consumed.
Right.
Engulfed. That's what I was going to say. Engulfed.
Engulfed, right. Engulfed.
That's the word I was looking for.
Engulfed, consumed, obsessed. These words describe it very accurately. You seem to be very obsessed, including Devin Haney, right? Including Teofimo Lopez. All these fighters are super obsessed with becoming the highest paid fighters in the game. When they look at Tank, they become obsessed. A lot of people would argue that what Devin Haney went through with Ryan Garcia was an identity crisis, B, being over obsessed with competing with Tank on numbers, right? Making money. Devin decided to steer away from what got him to the big show, right? He steered away from what got him to the big show. As like I like to quote Mike Tyson, he tried to leave who brought him to the dance at the dance and leave with somebody else, and he got clipped for it, right? But that's what this whole entire argument is about, isn't it?
Correct. That's
what the argument is all about. Is about how do I transfer over? Like just the rappers used to do it. They used to say, man, I'm a great local rapper, but you know what I'm saying? I want to transcend that. I want to go commercial. I want to cross over, right? Into that space to where I'm getting paid $150,000, $200,000 a show instead of being this ill rapper in my city that everybody loves. And I'm packing out my little clubs and making like, 10 to 20 grand every time I go to the club. I'm trying to get up into the $150,000, $200,000, 200,000. Let me see here. Hugh G said, salute Hugh G. How could we ignore Adrian Broner and Tank's comment to a wrecked aisle? Oh man. Okay. All right. Okay. We're going to block you. I see you guys. Is it because I'm monetized now? Is that what it is? We're not going to keep doing this.
They're trying to get you. They're trying to get you.
Yeah. He kind of did almost get me. I'm getting better, though. I'm getting better. Boom. We're going to
definitely read it. Read it before you say it. Definitely.
100%. When he said Adrian, you guys are smart, by the way. I understand what you guys are doing. You start off with a little bit of facts in the beginning, and then it turns into some nonsense later. It's all good, bro.
What's up, Andrew Charles? Absolutely. That's why I'd be like, hold on. But yeah. I catch it. It's crazy. You know why I be catching those things? Because I skim through stuff. What I tell you all the time, when I read, I skim through it before I even acknowledge what's going on. Right. And I'll skim through it, and then I'll catch something because I'm like, hold on, that don't seem right. Yeah,
I'll be on my chat box, on my soapbox, bro, and it be catching me slipping. But yeah, the obsession with becoming big stars. And what does that mean? That means evolution is inevitable, right? It's inevitable. And what does it take to evolve? We're going to politic a little deeper on that tonight because these fighters have gotten to the big show learning how to fight ever since they were 8, 9 years old. They're developed fighters. I mean, nobody can take away from Shakur Stevenson's accomplishments as far as who he is as a fighter. You know what I mean? As a boxer, but there's two parts to this game. Now you're coming onto the big show. You know what I mean? You're having to keep asses in seats. And although those videos, salute to RC for putting some color chat some color in the chat tonight. Only one way to move to make everybody smile is to fight each other. Listen, It is, right? But RC, that's an interesting thing that you're saying, because that is the only way to do it. But from the boxer's point of view, their leverage in the negotiations for them to get the amount of money they want involve them delivering on their own exciting fights. They have to become stars on their own. Otherwise, when you come to somebody like Tank Davis and you say, I want to get into a fight, Tank got no problem. Like, all right, we can fight, but I'm going to give you what you're worth, bro. You're not going to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to give you more than what you're worth. But now the argument becomes, what am I worth? What is my market value? How do I tell what my market value is, right? How do I tell what my market value is? If you're making 50 million, if I'm a fighter and I'm believing that, listen, man, first of all, I'm a better fighter than you. I know that I'm a champion in this division, et cetera, et cetera. I got all this jewelry. Well, if you're worth 50, what am I worth? I got to be worth at least 30, 40. But, listen, no, you're not. You being a champion, you being this excellent boxer, that's not necessarily making you worth 20, 30 million. You know what I'm saying? Tank is going to be able to go ahead and reference, listen, you see everybody in that building scream my name? You see the big pictures on the wall? All right? Do you see how many asses is in the seats? Do you see the pay-per-view numbers I did on my last event? Yeah, bro. There's no way in hell you get most of this money. And now you're going to feel some kind of way, because you're going to say, since when did boxing become a popularity contest? You're going to say, what about the accolades? Me being a champion doesn't matter anymore? Good question. Good question. You know what I'm saying? Because the money doesn't come from the belts. The money comes from the people coming into the building. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that maybe they'll give you that base amount. Maybe that comes from the belts when they say, listen, we're going to shoot you $3 million. That's the least you're going to make all night. But the difference between you making 5, 10 million and making 30 to 50 million is going to be based on pay-per-view numbers and asses in the seats. It's going to be based on those things. And if you're not contributing to that in a real way, then how can you ask for a lion's share of the cake, of the food on the table? Mr. Big Play Bray said it's hard to become a star from local celebrity, like it or not. Like it or not, it's more than skills. It's a lot of women that can sing, but it's only a few Beyoncés. I agree. I agree. I agree 100%. Big Play.
So, in great essence, on top of that, it's just entertainment, bro. Being an entertainer is better than just being a performer. You understand? A lot of people can perform, performing on any stage, and they can do it. But it's the entertainment. It's what you bring to your performance. It's how you engage with your fans. It's how you make them believe that the atmosphere is different. You know what I mean? They have left the planes of their reality into your world. That's what you want to bring. And in all essence, people don't want to see what they've seen for the last 20 years. They want different, right? We seen Floyd outbox people the last 20 years. We've seen people adapt to that style, and it's getting boring. Tank came in, he starts knocking people out. People were adjusted to that. They like that. This is what brings it down to the table. They like people that get stoppages. They like people that come in the ring and they stand toe to toe. They don't like that. Oh yeah, we're gonna stay back. We're gonna be defensive. We're gonna watch you. You know what I mean? It's your style. It's cool, but make it exciting. Take a chance. From Tim Bradley to Mace and Cam, both saying the same thing to Shakur. It's a big message, bro. Sometimes you got to take chances. Same thing, and it's just Devin too. And I have to give Devin credit because Devin took a chance.
Devin took a chance for sure.
He dared to be great. You know what I mean? Did he do it? Did he do the right weight cuts and all that? No, he worked on all that muscle, building that muscle for what? But taking chances. It didn't work out for him. But guess what? At the end of the day, it kind of did because of the circumstances that followed. You know what I mean? But any reason, we have to understand your connection to the fan base is what it is. Devin is still a relevant name. Why? Even though he lost, because he built his name. He may have made enemies outside the ring, but guess what? They talk about him. And they still want to see him in the ring, just like they wanted to see Floyd lose or anyone else. This happens, and they want to see that because of relevancy. Now, Shakur, I don't know if he's trying to push that level and saying F the fans and this and that, bro. The fans is your piggy bank, bro.
That's your bread and butter.
Yeah, don't play with your fans, bro. And at the end of the day, they're going to be critical. You have to learn to accept that criticism. When you start getting into your feelings and you act like that guy that was at the Olympics with the crocodile tears, you're gonna be looking real funny. You know what I mean? And that's what we don't want, man. We want to just keep it 100.
Yeah, man. Listen, at the end of the day, there's a balance. There's a balance now in this point of all these fighters' careers, where it's not just about you being celebrated and you having all this all these accolades, these belts and everything that you want to that's on there that you want to use as your leverage in negotiations. You're getting Shakur better than 99. Yeah, exactly, Andrew. That's a fact, right? That's a fact. Shakur is better than 99.9% of boxers out there, but he's still running into a wall right now, right? He's running into a wall. And the wall that he's running into is that the people are asking for him to back up the words that he's saying. He's talking the right talk. He's talking the right talk. When he's at these press conferences, he's telling us what we want to hear. We're hearing what we want to. Oh, a word? Oh, all right, you gonna step to him? Oh, all right, you gonna stop? Oh, you gonna show it? This is gonna be different than every other fight you did. This is gonna be different. Oh, all right, man. We gonna show up too, and they showed up for him. Gave him the highest viewed event that Top Rank had this year was his event. The most asses in seats was Shakur Stevens' event, right? But there's a two sides to that coin, right? So everybody shows up for you. That's one side of the coin, and you show them what you can do. But guess what else is the other side of the coin? You didn't do what you said you was going to do in front of a lot of people,
right?
And a lot of viewership. Right. I mean, those people who came and saw you Saturday night fight against Artem Haratunian saw that and were pleased enough with that so that the next time you have an event, are those people going to show back up again? Are they going to show back up again? I mean, time will tell the story better than we could ever tell it, right? But that's when we'll realize the effect of what happened in that event. We will realize who and how effective that event was in promoting his brand on the next event that he does. How many people are showing up? And if you bring up pay-per-view now, if you're talking about becoming a pay-per-view stars, how many people saw that fight Saturday night would have been willing to pay $60 to see that? Stay up late at night. Think about somebody like myself. I worked a weekend wraparound shift, right? I'm literally got to go to work the next morning. You come in and fight at 1 o'clock in the morning, 12:30 in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got to stay up and be tired at work the next day to see an event like that. I'm a
3-hour fight.
Right. I'm a boxing fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm a boxing fan. So I enjoyed the fight. I ain't going to lie to you. I told Ray, I enjoyed the fight. I saw things in the fight that I enjoyed, but would I have paid $60 for it with hindsight? No. Up front, yeah, it's Shakur. But the next morning when I'm sitting here dozing off at my job and trying to get it, how am I going to feel about that $60? And more important than the $60, because money is money, not to act like we all just rolling in it. But look, money comes and money goes. You know what I'm saying? It's the time. The time is priceless. The time can't be taken back. I can't get my time back. You know what I mean? I can go hustle hard and go get my money back up, double up, triple up, go make my money in 100 different ways to not even feel that blow of spending that $60, right? We can put the money being spent in perspective. But my time? No, my time is invaluable. Invaluable. And if you're going to make me pay for pay-per-views, then damn it, you better at least attempt to deliver on what you said you're gonna do. And that's what it comes down to, right, Shakur? It's not that you have to knock everybody out. No, that's crazy. Listen, man, Keyshawn Davis and Miguel Medueno, in my opinion, had the most exciting fight on the card that night. Those guys were going at it. It got dirty. Dudes was getting lifted in the air, getting threatened to get body slammed. Punches was flying. Keyshawn was, listen, man, it was all types of stuff going on in that fight. Nobody got stopped. Nobody even got put on their pockets. Right. Nobody even got put on their pockets in that fight. And that fight was probably the fight of the night. So it's not that you have to knock this guy out or that you got to sit this guy in his pockets, but we want to see you try like we saw Keyshawn try. Keyshawn took risk in there. He was throwing shots in there. Medueno was like Frankenstein walking him down like, that's not going to do nothing. Keyshawn was like, damn, all right, well, here's another one. Yeah. And we, damn, all right. Well, but at least he was attempting to, right? So he added to his brand. Keyshawn became a fighter like, okay, now I want to see him. After that fight, I don't know how you guys felt, but I started thinking about other people he can get in fights with now. Right. And I'm like, damn, I wonder how Keyshawn might look in there with a, right? I might want to see him. Hold up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. Before I wasn't really thinking like that before, but after this fight, Keyshawn might need to be with you guys fill in the blank, whoever the hell you felt like seeing him in the ring with, right? Who did y'all want to see with Shakur in the ring after that fight? Who did y'all say, man, you know what I need to see this style against?
Let me tell you what the issue is. This guy needs to start fighting on as co-main or something else to an event. He needs to also start believing in his power or his shot and delivering, taking chances. Shakur also has to understand, and I think we get two sides of Shakur too. So one of the things that bothered me with Shakur outside the ring is the way he leads into the fight and his reasonings for outside the fight, and then his explosions. Right on top of that, when he did the cigar talk, I think that was great content. I think he was being honest with himself. I think he knew something, regardless of his hands being hurt. He acknowledged this guy punch hard, bro. I didn't expect that. Right?
100%. 100%.
Right? We can accept that. Okay, you know what? Now we know why you took those chances and didn't want to take those chances. You're being honest. But then you go around and say, yo, I knocked you out because he was easy and I did it easy and I showed y'all it was easy. Now, are you making yourself believe that? Right. Are you making yourself believe that, or are you trying to make us believe that? Because you're both professionals, so obviously he punches hard. The problem is you need to understand the reality of things and believe what you're saying. You know what I mean? Not believe what you're thinking. Because some of the things, what you said on Shakur Talk, I think that was the real you. What you said on Twitter
and building up and the tweets.
That's not you, bro. That's not you.
Or that's an emotional you.
Right. Yeah.
You're angry. You're responding to some haters you want, or people, maybe some hecklers or people who are criticizing you. You're getting into it with them. You're getting into it with them. So that could be, maybe that's who you're feeling. Right. But that's another thing that we can tap into into this generation. Right. This generation of fighter with social media and Twitter at their fingertips, they're really able to hit send a little too easy. And it's kind of toxic in the space of their careers, and they're having a hard time. Listen, I'm sure Floyd Mayweather had access to Twitter. He would have said a lot of stuff that had people like, yo, Floyd bugging. Mike Tyson with access to a Twitter account.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Who knows what we heard? What's on the legends? Roberto Duran with a Twitter account. Zab Judah with a Twitter account.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean? Mayorga with a Twitter account.
I'm going to say, look, Mayorga, bro, forget about your wife. Hide your wife.
Listen, nothing's off the table. Everybody can get it, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mike Tyson had a mic in front of his face and said he was going to eat somebody's kids. That man got on a stage and had a couple of microphones out there and said he was going to violate a man. You know what I'm saying? In the ultimate way that you could violate a man, and said he was going to make him love it. Man, that was one night. That was one night that a mic got in front of him. Could you imagine him being able to just pick up his phone and be like, what did they say? Well, hold on a second. Stand. You know what I'm saying? And now it's there forever, right? So this generation of young fighter has access. Ali on X, crazy frequent, right? Crazy. You know what I'm saying? How many apologies might Ali have to be out there be like, yo, first of all, I want to apologize to, you know what I mean? That wasn't meant to be that way. That wasn't meant to, shit falling all over the fucking place, bro. It's one of them days, bro. At the end of the day, these things are what these fighters today have to deal with. They have to take these things into consideration, and they have to organize this in a more productive way. They have to figure a way to use the social media in a healthy way. And that's one of the things you got to give Tank Davis his credit for, right? You got to give him the credit to say that although he can say his things on Twitter from time to time, but it's still controlled. Like he'll say it and pull it down 10 minutes later. You know what I'm saying? He knows what he's saying and what buttons he's pushing and why he's saying what he's saying. And maybe he also has a lot of people around him who are also keeping him honest at the same exact time, right? Maybe all these things are coming together for him, and he has that team that's pushing him in the right way and keeping him on the right path. The Shakurs, the Tiafimos, right? The Devin Haney. Devin Haney's not too bad on Twitter, to be honest with you. If anything, Bill is the one that they're going to accredit to any kind of bad press or anything that Devin's getting. But, all of these guys have to control the way they're looking in the public and be conscious of the fact that they're selling themselves one way or the other, right? There's a story being told and somebody's being sold. You're either selling us in a positive way or a negative way, you know, but the performance don't match the talk, and you end up in these situations. Or Tank, what's happened to Shakur's emotions. You know what's funny though? In the ring, it doesn't seem, I haven't seen Shakur Stevenson be emotional in the ring yet. Have I?
I don't think so. I don't think he has. I think he's like I said, he's very good with, I don't know what happened, but yeah, he's very good with the way he handles himself in the ring, especially in the bright lights. He knows the bright lights, which is cool. But you see him, cameras follow him because of who he is. He's basically like a wreck, bro. He ain't have that wreck yet, but he's beginning to have one. And the cameras are watching him because they want to see what happens. They want to see his results and what his actions are and reaction. And the guy is winning. Like we watched Loma cry in the locker room, and they wanted to see that because of his loss. Yo, this guy is winning, and they want to see his results, his reactions. This is crazy. It's funny because they're like, yo, this guy is really not who we say he is. The media also knows that this guy delivers too much and says too much on his own. Like he is not that guy that people expect him to be. In a case of a Devin Haney, I'm gonna stop sitting everybody in the lightweight and around divisions, but like so much even as a Canelo, they don't walk around behind Canelo after he leaves the ring. They follow him to the locker room and watch him sit there in the chair and talk. No, they don't do that. Shakur allows that. Shakur allows him. Teofimo, another one. I hate to say it. It's this Gen Z. Is it Gen Z or ZY? Whatever it is. YZ. Whatever this generation is of fighters.
Is it Generation Y? I don't know.
It's after. I think it's after Z. So I don't know which one it is, but these guys is just, bro.
Generation pronoun.
There you go.
You know what I mean,
they're too stuck on this like emotion and like I said, I think we said the female tendencies. They like these feelings. They want this attention. A good choice of words, something that we talk about a lot. Validation. You know what I mean? They want approval from everyone that they don't know. Bro, you'll get that by doing what you're supposed to do. I mean, we're giving you it now. We're saying, yo, we want to see you tested against Tank. We want to see the best fight to test. We're giving you that validation. What do you keep crying for? Shut up and keep moving.
100%.
He's the only one that has it under control. It's like being at the bottom helps you grow. Some of these guys you could tell were never at the bottom because they you know what I mean, whether they're spoon fed or not. You know what I mean? They didn't go through through digging through trash, and I don't mean that literally, but you know what I mean? They didn't have to scramble for the next meal. These dudes don't know how to act. They don't have that polar. They have a total polar opposite, but they don't have that the word I'm looking for. Look, you got a word, right? The word I'm looking for. They don't have that common sense. They don't have that grind. There's a word. They don't have that grind and that patience to be like everyone else that has struggled. You know what I mean? They had no struggle, so they have no adversity. And when you don't have no adversity, Clay, which I always ask, you don't know how to be humble. You don't know how to chill, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. And not only what they're writing on the social media, but what they're reading as well, right? What they're reading has got them going crazy. They're overwhelmed with, thousands of people, criticizing them at the same exact time, pointing fingers at them, dissecting the way they fight. People who probably 9 out of 10 of them haven't even been through half the stuff they've been in to get there, probably aren't even, don't even rate to criticize them and be like, well, you should have been doing what you should have been doing. Listen, man, you get to a point where you have to just tune that stuff out and focus on who you are. Identity crisis. Know who you are. Be comfortable with who you are. And at the end of the day, Shakur, your thing ain't knocking people out. Your thing is, listen, I'll beat your favorite fighter, man. I'm a better boxer than your favorite fighter. And the only way you can shut me up when it comes to this conversation is by having your fighter get in the ring with me. And until that happens, you guys are just blowing smoke. Be humble, but you could be honest as well. Right. There's some honesty in there. Nobody's saying just let the stories be what they're going to be.
Yeah. Sorry.
You know what I mean? Yeah. No, nobody's saying that, but the real test, the real answer to all the questions or to the haters, whatever you want to call it, is in the ring, bro. That's where you're going to do it at. It's going to be in that ring. hopefully we'll see this. I mean, we're talking about Shakur right now because Shakur just had a performance on Saturday, and I've heard he's dropped over 200 tweets. That's what I've heard. That he dropped over 200 tweets since Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm hearing. I don't know. I haven't counted the tweets. You know what I'm saying? To sit here and confirm the number. But obviously, if the number ain't 200, it's a big enough number to where it's significant. He's just representing and putting his feelings on his sleeve because Teofimo's doing the same damn stuff. Well, Teofimo may not be as active on social media as Shakur is, but he feels the same way. Teofimo's been dealing with the status, his status, and the weight of his accomplishments and what he thinks he should be having, and assessing his market value in an accurate way. He's been dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? Floyd Schofield right now with his father and where they want to put him at. You know what I mean? They want to get him in the ring with the biggest fights, and not understanding, in my opinion, you know what I mean? And shout out to them as a family, as a team, as a unit, you know what I mean? And Floyd Schofield is a boxer by himself, but you haven't fought those guys yet.
Right.
And now you guys are pushing him fast and hard, and I mean, we'll see how that ends up developing. But there's a process, right? There's a way that things work to get you there, and there's other things that can actually hurt you and hold you back a little bit. Hold on a second. Okay, I'll read that, no doubt. You know I had to read it because it's a new guy. I didn't know what was in there. Shout out to Most Hated Blogger, little brother. He says, we're talking about, let me put it up on the screen because I like what he said here. He says, we're talking about 20 to 25-year-olds being humble and blocking out. But think about the same, some of these YouTubers 40 and older, lying, false narratives, etc. Social media and attention changes people. 100%, brother. 100% Most Hated Blogger. I definitely agree with you on that. We have to take that into consideration, right? I always take it into consideration. But you know what, though, Most Hated Blogger, the reality is, age or no age, they're still being affected negatively or positively with everything that they do. Right. And all these things add up and they compound to an ultimate result. And that's what we're talking about tonight. And yeah, everybody gets affected by by social media. Me myself, right now, being a content creator at the level that I'm on, you know what I mean? I'm on a very low level tier. I gotta block out the social media. I know what you're talking about. No, I know what you're talking about, Most Hated. Yeah, for sure. No, I don't think I didn't take it like you're pointing at us at all, actually.
Right.
If anything, I was probably thinking about a lot of people that I could point out. Yeah. But just to say that, yeah, man, social media is a powerful thing. It's not about your age. It's about just reading people talk bad to you. Whoever you are will affect you at some point. Nobody's above the influence, right? Nobody's above the influence. Everybody can be influenced in one way or the other. It's not about what you do with the information after you read it. It's about you can control what you take in and what you put out, right? They say you don't judge somebody on the way they feel. You judge somebody on the way they act, right? You can feel some kind of way about somebody, but once you let it leave your mouth and go, F that person, that dude's ugly. That dude's whack. That's something you could have controlled. You feeling he's ugly or feeling he's whack, that's a feeling. Nobody's going to knock you for that. That's how you feel. But the way you act, you got to be held accountable for the way you act. Right. What you're reading, you can control. You might not be able to control the way you feel about what you read, but you can control what you read. You know what I'm saying? And you can focus on the things that are going to help you get further in life, and you can block out the things that are really not helping you one way or the other. Right. You know, that's what it comes down to.
100%. And I don't even want to keep. Listen. I want to just ride with that because I think that was 100% accurate, and I like what both of you are talking about. We do live with a society of this nature, and everybody wants attention. I said the worst thing that happens. And listen, God rest my grandmother's soul. But when I introduced her to Facebook, let me tell you something. Yeah. See my Facebook
everywhere,
bro. I was everywhere. Like, wow.
And in everybody's business, right?
And most respect, my wife was never on Facebook. Listen, no disrespect to my wife. She was never on Facebook. She stayed away from it. And she seen what I was going through when I was on it at one point, right? I don't use Facebook anymore, but she seen it. And I was like, yo, once this live started on Facebook, I was like, yo, I ain't feeling this with people knowing my locations and where I'm at and giving that information. Yo, I'm going to pull back from that. And I started pulling back. And my wife had just joined, and she's like, "Why don't you be on there no more?" Because I'm on there. I'm like, "No, it has nothing to do with that. It was just the movement was different. The complaint. I was tired of hearing about people's personal lives, and you know what I mean. Everybody trying to be their own celebrity and looking for sympathy on everything. I was just tired of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just became what it was. Like I had to graduate from that space, like you said, and sometimes some of these guys got to do the same. Like I like being on in an interaction like this because you know what? I can see you, I can talk to you. Yeah, we're not next to each other, but we basically face to face. You know what I mean? And we can have this conversation, even the people in the chat. Yeah, they're responding. It's like reading a text message through a phone, but guess what? We're interacting and we're live while doing it. So when people are in spaces and they like to give their emotions in like Twitter or X as you call it, and they out there just saying stuff based on somebody's opinion, bro, what is you worried about that for? I think, look, my big brother said this to me one day. I'm going to tell you what he said to me. If they ain't say your name, they ain't talking about you. You know who that guy was? That was Claymore Ring.
It sounded like something I would have said.
Yeah, and they ain't say my name because I was upset about something. It was something I was upset about, and I broke it down to the brother. He was like, "Man, if they ain't say your name, did they say your name? Did they say your name?" I said, "Nah. Why are you worried about it?" I got out my emotions because I was upset because they was talking about me, but they ain't say my name, so they ain't say nothing to me. So
Yeah, if they ain't got the heart to direct it towards you, that's
right.
The sign of respect within itself, right?
Right. Look. Same time.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
It ain't directed. It ain't respected.
Let me just shout out to Poe Porter. Yo, Poe Porter, salute my brother. I appreciate you showing some love, man, in the chat. Put some color in there, man. Claymore Rain, Ray Davis supporting the grind. 100%, brother. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. If it ain't directed at you, it ain't respected. 100% most hated. At the end of the day, I don't respect subliminal shots. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna say something, put my name in it. Other than that, what are we talking about, right? So you know, these are bridges that these kids, to a certain degree, even though they're adults. Of course, Steven's is a father. I don't know if he's a husband yet, but I know he has aspirations of being one. He's engaged at a minimum to his lady. You know, Tiafimo is a father, was married at one point, or is still. I don't know these guys' personal business like that. I just know that at the end of the day, me personally, I like to address them as men. A lot of people like to be like, they're kids. And that's cool. I understand where it's coming from because they are young. We can only imagine. I remember me being 20 to 25 years old, 26 years old, where my mentality was at me today at my age, which you guys won't never know, is a complete different person, right? The journey, the experiences, everything that I've been through and I've learned along this path that I've been on has evolved me into who I am today. I didn't come out my mama's womb this person, right? So I understand and I respect everybody's space that they need to grow. But unfortunately, these guys have chosen for their careers to be world superstars. And their whole life right now with social media is out here for everybody to see. And there needs to be some control of it, some kind of control, some sort of understanding, some sort of a model around what they're doing that's going to give them some space to, in 30s, early 40s. Ain't you big bro? Yeah, Jake, for sure. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
Lean more towards the 30s.
Yeah, you know what I mean? For sure. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so at the end of the day, their development, right? But I wanted to continue the conversation and move it forward with what are these guys going to have to do in order to deliver when we're talking about them becoming stars. What are they going to have to do? Now, we already spoke that Shakur Stevenson, you know, his presence in the social media space, the Twitter space, probably could use a little bit more control, right? He probably should put a little bit more control in that space and speak a little bit less. But what is he going to do inside of the ring that's going to translate into what he's trying to get outside of the ring? Outside the ring being a success. Salute Hood Rich in the building. Salute. What is he going to have to do? You know, when you look at Teofimo Lopez and you look at Floyd Schofield and you look at a lot, even Devin Haney at this point, what they've been doing has gotten them to this point. What they're doing, will it continue to move them to the next point, or has whatever they've been doing at this point gotten them as far as it's going to get them? let that process, and maybe I could be a little more clear with it. But however they've been training, whatever strategy they've been bringing into the ring, everything that they've been doing that's gotten them to this point to be champions, multiple division champions, to be the level of fighter that we all know them to be, is what they're doing enough to get them where they want to go? And if it's not enough, then what has to happen? What adjustments need to be made in order to get them there? If Shakur Stevenson is saying that he wants to stop people, that he's going to stop people, is it fair to say that at a minimum, that's what he wants to do? Right? And if he wants to do that, what is it going to take for him to do that? You know, right? I'm hearing rumors enough that Shakur Stevens had problems with his hands in this fight, both hands, right? So he's trying, but he's hurting himself, right? He's hurting himself. Does he move forward and continue to be this knockout guy and do all these different things, or is there another adjustment that needs to be made? Teofimo Lopez at the same exact time wants to be one of the big draws in the game, but he's running into a wall. The freestyle way of entering matches with fighters it's starting to hit a wall. It's not working. We're all seeing it, right? He's not organized. He's just reacting and moving and doing whatever he wants to do, but it's not translating into, he's winning. He's got wins. He don't got no losses, but I think we all see an inevitable ending to him coming if he doesn't adjust accordingly, right? Floyd Schofield adjusted, and he tried to become more exciting, jumping into punches, right? Getting hit, trying to make opportunities for himself to hit the other fighter. And then what he ended up with? A lot of scar tissue on his face. And it looks like if he doesn't taper that down and come back to boxing, that he's probably going to running into inevitable wall. At the end of the day, the big question is always going to be, are these fighters supposed to change and evolve to entertain the fans, or should they just commit to who they've been to get them to this point and just not have an identity crisis, be honest with themselves with who they are, and deliver what they're able to deliver? What say you, Ray, if that makes any, if you got anything to add to that?
No, 2,000%. And the same thing, adjustments, learning. First, start this. You can teach your old dog new tricks. So even though you've been learning things all your life, stick with what you know and develop from there. I always tell my kids when they play baseball, stick to the basics. Stick to the basics. Once you start moving into other chapters and you start tweaking and stuff like that, you can tweak your little performances and your swings and this and that. Same thing with boxing. You can tweak things, but you're tweaking on improvement. You're not tweaking on trying to be on far measures. Like, you're not trying to change your whole game plan. Oh, you know what? I feel like fighting southpaw today. I'm orthodox, but I've been practicing this. Who did that? Was it Jared Miller? Right?
Wait, that did what? Say it again.
Like, I'm saying, like, when we have people that, like for instance, example is Jared Miller when he was fighting orthodox his whole career, and then he decided because he had the advantage to go fight this guy southpaw the whole fight. Right. Like, I was like, what are you doing? Something you've been working on? You don't work on that while you're in the ring with somebody live just because you feel that you have advantage. That's how you get caught up and knocked out.
You talking about Jared Anderson?
Jared Anderson, thank you. I'm sorry.
Okay. Just making sure. Okay.
I was Big Baby one way or the other. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I'm sitting there like, bro, what is he doing? You know what I mean? Like, okay, I get it. You're playing with your food, but have some respect for that opponent too. You know what I mean? Like, that's where it starts. So development is nothing wrong with sticking to your game plan. Yeah, you wanted to switch every once in a while to flash off. That's fine. But he tried to fight like rounds and rounds and rounds like that, and I was like, yo, that's not cool. It's like, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Don't try to recreate the wheel. Stick to what you got. What got you to the dance, right? Then we always talk about that.
100%.
Once you get that, then you can fine tune it. You want to change the wheels on your car? No problem. Ain't nothing wrong with that. The car's still going to drive the same. It might be a little rougher, a little softer, but just remember that you're doing it. You know what I mean? There's some adjustments that you need to make to your car to do that. But if you're not going to, you know what I mean, do it the right way, you're going to end up right there, and you're going to be smiling from the other side. And what I mean is on your behind, looking up.
Right. 100%, man. And I'll say like this, man. I don't like making excuses for fighters, but I'm going to speak my truth and what I think and what I see. Because when I look at somebody like Shakur Stevens, I'm not gonna lie to you, I see a star. You know what I mean? He's not a star yet, but I see a star. But I'm gonna tell you like this. It also takes the all the outside elements to line up for him correctly. He needs a good matchmaker. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson should be able to become a star based on what Shakur Stevenson brings to the table. The idea that he has to change and become more like a Tank or more like a Canelo or more like all these other fighters, that he should change himself and he should take pointers from these guys and start trying to knock people out, and he's hurting his hands, and Devin Haney should go in there and put himself in a position to where he's getting clipped to try to attract people to sit in seats and become this exciting fighter. No. It's matchmaking a lot of the times. Floyd Mayweather looked real great in his career. I believe he had some good matchmaking happening for him. And listen what I'm saying, right? I'm not talking about cherry picking. People want to take what I'm saying and put it aligned with cherry picking. I'm not talking about cherry picking. In other words, cherry picking being that you're picking fighters that you're going to beat, that a certain result's going to come. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about matchmaking, the skill of matchmaking, which is something Turki Al-Sheikh, in my opinion, is bringing back to boxing, is bringing styles that complement each other to provide the fans with the best fights possible. You look at Nick Ball and Raymond Ford. That was great matchmaking. You guys have to understand that was great matchmaking. Who was Nick Ball to you guys? Did anybody even realize who this short dude from England was that was getting ready to jump in the ring with Raymond Ford? Nah. Turki and his team saw, man, this kid's a ball of fire. Look how Raymond Ford just performed in his last fight. We put these two in the ring. What kind of fight are we going to get? When you look at Shakur Stevenson, you got to say, I'm one of those people who believe very wholeheartedly. You put him in the ring with William Zepeda, we're going to see a great fight. We're going to see a great fight, in my opinion. You put him in the ring with Isak Pitbull Cruz, we're going to see a great fight. You understand what I'm saying? You even put him in the ring with a Liam Paro, you're going to see a great XL. We dropping a link tonight or not? We're going to be dropping a link a little bit later for sure. I take it you want to tap in. You want to tap in, XL? Don't worry. Give us a little minute. We'll throw it out there. Let me see here. Mo said it. Clay, you said the key thing. They're not comfortable in their own skin due to social media being loud in their ear. They need to be social media deaf or put on the earmuffs. Keep winning. 100%, most hated. 100%. Right? But matchmaking is a big deal in these senses for these fighters to develop in the right way. Developing them as far as making them better fighters, but also highlighting some of the best things that they bring to the ring and letting the fans see them in their best look so that the fans want to see them again and again and again. That's what's going to build up their market value. Right. You know what I'm saying? When you got somebody like Top Rank, who in my opinion, and this is my personal opinion, again, speaking my truth, I don't think that they handled the boy Shakur correctly. I'm be honest with you. I just don't believe they put him in the ring with the right kind of fighters. I believe they tried to leverage fights over his head in order to put pressure on him to agree to certain things that he didn't want to agree to. Yep. I think that contracts and certain things like that, they use their matchmaking to either make him a bigger or better fighter or take away from his brand and to show the young boy, or the young bull, I'm not going to say boy, the young bull, how much power they can have over his head. They're not matching him correctly. So that's why you see somebody like Eddie Hearn from Matchroom who's like, listen, man, Eddie Hearn believes he can make him into a star. He believes he just wasn't promoted properly. He's a smart guy, bro. He's like, nah, bro, this kid is not boring like you guys want to say he's boring. He's getting put into fights where he's the one who has to make the fight exciting. Right. And that's not the right position to put Shakur in, right? You don't put him in a position to where he's in the ring and he has to make the fight exciting. That's not the role he plays, right? Now, at the same time, I'm not saying that you just put him in the ring where somebody's going to chase him around all night long, but you got to balance it. You put him in the ring with the right fighters, he's going to give you guys great performances. You put him in there with the wrong fighters, he's going to play it safe, and especially if he can win the fight playing it safe, that's what he's going to probably do because he's defense or his mind is defense first. That's how he's programmed to think. But that doesn't mean that he's a boring fighter. It just means you better know how to push him You better know how to put him in front of the right people. You put Shakur Stevenson in the ring with a Subriel Matias, you're going to see Shakur do stuff like probably close to what Keyshawn was doing. Throwing heavy shots, not powerful, not going to knock Subriel on his tail, but he's going to fight in a way where you're going to be like, damn, this kid is nice. You got to pay attention to who you put him in the ring with. And I think that's something going on right now. Even with Teofimo, you saw how once he got inside the ring with Jermaine Ortiz, stylistically, that made him look boring as hell. It made him look like he didn't even know what he was doing in the ring. You put him in there with Steve Claggett, you get more of an exciting fight. You know, Steve Claggett, I believe those kind of fights expose Teofimo to himself.
Right.
Those are the fights that are going to make Teofimo evolve. Like, damn, man, I mean, I won this fight, but damn, bro, I need to start getting the game plan. Like that, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That was kind of difficult. That was real complicated. Look at my face.
It shouldn't be like that, right? It shouldn't have been that way. I was supposed to walk through this guy.
Right. But he's starting to realize, but sometimes it takes those fights to happen in order for him to have those real conversations with himself and with his training team. And for his training team to see things as well. Sometimes as a trainer, I'm sure you see your fighter winning and being successful, being a certain way in the ring. And you're like, all right, well, I mean, it's working. But when you put them in there with the right fighters, you start to realize the holes that need to get closed up. You start to realize like, damn, oh man, we got to work on this, right? We got to work on that. I always use Edgar Berlanga as another example, right? Edgar Berlanga went 19 straight fights, knocking everybody out. Didn't develop. They were operating on if it ain't broke, why fix it mantra, right? It ain't broke, you get knockouts. What do we got to work on? All right, well, finally got him in the ring with somebody who can box. He got put on his pockets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden it's like, oh, now they got to work on stuff, right? So the matchmaking has a lot to do with the development of these fighters in the ring for themselves and development for us as fans, because we need developing too as well with the fighters that we're looking at. We're being developed. We're getting worked on. Giving us the identity of these fighters and letting us and educating us on what kind of fighters these guys are is going to have a lot to do with the matchmaking, with the kind of adversity that we see him in. Ray said it before. I want to see Devin sit on his pockets. I want to see him catch a shot. You know what I mean? With Tank, we want to see him in there with a slick fighter, right? We want to see him in there with that right kind of fighter who's going to bring out to answer certain questions for us. It's about the matchmaking at the end of the day, you know? Sorry, different subject, but is Loma still fighting Tank? I don't know,
yes,
Chris.
Yes. Apparently that was Cap from Coach Kenny, but Hoodridge is in the building, though. I think he said he checked on that yesterday and said yes. It wasn't real. It wasn't a real. But it's weird because it's been on. I don't know. Hoodridge can answer that. You can definitely throw that out there for Hoodridge.
No doubt. Let me ask a question though. What do you think about Subriel Matias separating from Panda?
Bad idea. Why? Because you think separating from your trainer that probably told you to do certain things in the ring and move your feet and don't be one-dimensional was probably instructing him to do that. And you just felt that, you know what I mean? Like we just said, you letting the world get into you, telling you you're just best fighter, and that's all you got to do is just keep coming forward and swinging and staying flat-footed in front of people and just knocking them out toe-to-toe, absorbing these shots, right?
Right.
So now you're going to blame somebody that told you. And even in the ring, he was telling them, like, bro, what are you doing? You got to get out the way of these punches. This guy's moving all around. You know what I mean? So now you're going to go somewhere else, and what's going to happen? Are you going to go with somebody that's going to continue to let you adjust to that style and keeping the same style of just standing there flat-footed and just throwing bolos? Or are you going to go to somebody that's going to teach you how to dance a little bit? Somebody that's going to teach you how to move and be lateral in your movement, staying on your toes. You know what I mean? Using your jab and not just sitting there waiting for you to close distance and just, you know, absorb all their shots until they're tired and to take advantage of their weaknesses and beat them up. You got to look at those things differently. But you know what? At the end of the day, Coach Panda allowed that to happen. So maybe that is the right move.
Coach Panda has a couple of fighters, you know what I mean? And two specifically in William Zepeda and Subriel Matias. I've always found it interesting that these fighters, like the big star fighters, the fighters with the real promising careers, at some point in the process, the fighters want that exclusive energy. You know what I mean? At some point, they're like, no, somebody's got a priority. Somebody is the number one fighter here in this stable. Somebody's the guy that deserves all the attention. And I think right now, without a doubt, that guy is William Zepeda, right? For Coach Panda. William Zepeda is the guy who's going to get the attention. He's earned and warranting the attention because he's getting ready to be in the biggest conversation, which is the Tank Davis conversation, the Shakur Stevenson conversation, that 135 conversation. He's in that conversation. Zepeda is probably a stateside Mexico fighter, right? And Subriel Matias is a Puerto Rico fighter. Is Panda able to give everybody the attention that everybody wants? Right now, Subriel Matias, I think there's a pro and a con to him leaving Panda. The con is obviously, Panda knows you, has developed you your whole career, and we should know that Subriel Matias hasn't been boxing ever since he was 7 years old, right? He came into the game a little bit later. He had a whole life before boxing. He was really a street dude, who learned how to box and came from an area that was, challenging to stay out of trouble in. So he comes with that raw style, but he needs a lot of development.
Right.
He needs a lot of development. Is Panda there to give him that development? Where, especially right now at this moment, where William Zepeda just had one of the best performances in his whole career against Giovanni Cabrera, and now is about to be in title contention for either a WBO title, which is what they're aiming to do, or he can fight Shakur Stevenson. He's number one in every single sanctioning body. You know what I'm saying? How's Subriel Matias feeling about the attention he's getting? So the pro is that maybe Subriel can get somebody who's going to focus all their attention on him, and he can be developed, because Subriel Matias he needs to be developed more. He's underdeveloped when it comes to competing at this high level. Liam Paro exposed him in a certain way to where it's like, oh, this dude needs to he ain't going to be able to get through all the way to the big show with just pressure, volume punching. He's going to have to start learning how to set up these shots better, not get hit so much, not give up so many rounds, right? Not just look for that one shot. He's going to have to start winning rounds and start boxing. So I'm a little split on what I think about the adjustment that Subriel Matias has decided to make. I don't know how bad or good and trying to weigh it out, or I want to see who he replaces Panda with. How about that?
Like I said, I think it's a knock on both and a positive on both. I'm not split. You know what I mean? I think it's more of a knock on Matias, because I honestly believe that he's probably a hard hit in the ring. I mean, if you're in camp with Zepeda, because remember, not camp, but in the training facilities, because they all train in Miami. You know what I mean? They all train down there in Florida. So if they're all training together, what's the difference? You both have my attention. Listen, we're going to stick to the basics. Let's get into this ring. Let's do the basics with each other. You guys start shadow boxing for whatever amount of time. Then we'll get into some motions and some 1-2s and some just hitting the pads and go from there. Take turns on the heavy bag. We'll switch up here and there. Jump and rope. All those things that lead up to, the training of just getting in the ring, doing a couple of rounds with each other, because they're not far in weight. So I'm pretty sure they did rounds with each other. You know what I mean?
Well, that's interesting. I was asking, I'm going to comment on that, to say that Panda commented on that before and said that he doesn't train them together.
Oh, really?
He does not train them together. He says it's dangerous to have them train to spar each other, or he keeps them away from each other.
And guess what? Failure on his part, because you have two polar opposite fighters that you could actually put together to help make each other stronger and better fighters. Right now, William Zepeda is yet to be spoken for of having a weakness. But we all know what Subriel's weakness was. I think I've been mentioning it for over a year or so. And other people have just picked up on it, which is great. You know what I mean? No news is good news, but when you find out the news, guess what? It ain't as pretty as it was, right? So, us finding out that he does have these problems with the way he fights and coming forward, that would have been a great test, putting him in a sparring match with William Zepeda and things of that nature, or even somebody similar. You know what I mean? Somebody in your camp. Keep people around you that are going to be, slick fighters or great movement, fighters that have good footwork. Have other people that help train you in that situation as well. But if he's not able to keep them together or train them together, or even have them in a similar environment where they run into each other, that's not good. I mean, especially when you got guys that are close in weight and they can actually become good friends and have strengths and weaknesses with each other to help build and overcome certain things. That's the failure on Panda on his part. I mean, maybe they don't like each other. That could be a reason why. I don't know, but yeah, that's not a good look for me. I think Freddie Roach and both God rest his soul. You know what I mean,
Emmanuel Stewart.
Emmanuel Stewart. Yeah, he had fighters in the ring, bro. He had all these guys in the gym together. He had them all together. He made them spar each other. You know what I mean? Both of them. That's the way they got better. They didn't fight each other, his guys in their stables, but they always stayed in the areas. They always needed each other to get better. And he had elite fighters on both sides. He had time for him. It's it's a generation that we live in, Clay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you know, when you're in, and that's what's significant about it, right? Because I believe Derek James went through the same thing with his camp. I believe he got to a point to where he was trying to give everybody that solo time, but there's only 24 hours in a day. And ultimately, at some point, there's going to be a boxer inside of that stable that's going to say, I'm him. Like, respectful to everybody else. Like, I wish everybody else the best, but I'm him. When it's my time, I don't want to be splitting it with nobody. I don't want to be fair. I don't want to be, you know what I mean? I'm not concerned with none of that. What I want is complete attention. I want this camp all about me. Matter of fact, I want to take my camp and leave with my camp. I want to go to Colorado in the mountains. I want to go wherever I want to go with my camp, wherever I think is going to give me the best environment. And I don't want to be taking into consideration, but you know, I got to also get him ready for something he got coming up soon. Or man, I got to get him. I'm not trying to hear none of that. I want the solitude. I want you in the crib. I'm renting a big crib out. I want all my team in the crib, waking up when I wake up, moving when I'm moving, when I'm getting I want a whole entire team around me focused on me being the best me I can be. I don't want no part-time coaching. And I really believed with Derek James, it came to that point with somebody like an Errol Spence and an Anthony Joshua and Ryan Garcia and an undisputed champion and Jamel Charlo at the time.
Frank Martin.
Right? What Jamel Charlo sitting there like, bro, I'm undisputed, bro. I want that undisputed treatment. Errol's like, yo, bro, I'll bring the money up in here. I'm about to be undisputed fight for the biggest fight of the year, maybe even the biggest fight of the era. They're comparing us to Marvin Hagler and goddamn Tommy Hearns, or Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard. That's what they're comparing this fight to. That's why I want to be. Anthony like, yo, bro, shout out to both you guys, respectfully. I'm the biggest damn boxing star in Europe, possibly, man. I'm not sharing my time with you guys. My fight is the biggest. Ryan's like, are you crazy? I'm the paper. You know what I'm saying? All these different personalities, and Derek James is in the middle of this situation, trying to be like, all right, I'm going to give it. And ultimately, the whole entire structure suffers. And what happens? You're suing Errol now. Ryan Garcia's got, I don't know what he's doing, right? Frank Martin, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Frank Martin kind of benefited from all this, and he started to get the attention. Jamel Charlo went in a tangent when got Juan Guzman, you know what I'm saying, and said he needed to learn Spanish. Everybody ended up going their own direction. And with Coach Panda having a William Zepeda, having a Subriel Matias in the conversation, it's like, at what point does somebody like Subriel Matias start saying, you know what? What if Subriel Matias says, I don't want to train in Miami no more, bro. I want to train in Puerto Rico. Right. I want to be in Puerto Rico, bro. That's where I'm from. I'm a star. I want to train in Puerto Rico. I want to be developed. I want my brand to be developed in my country. That's where I want to be. What if William Zepeda's like, yo, shout out to Miami, but I'm from Mexico. Can we at least get this camp in Texas? Get it closer, like maybe California, Vegas, get me closer to home. Why I need to be over here in the East Coast of Miami? What if I don't want to do that no more? What if he don't want to do that no more? What happens when these hard conversations come to the table? What does a Coach Panda do in that situation? Right. You know what I'm saying, Ray? Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense.
Right?
That's why you have to have a team, Clay. At the end of the day, you have to have a team. I think that's where you're going with this, right?
Yeah, I'm going into the space of every fighter gets into a place when they start to get bigger, where they finally get to that point where they start becoming a little bit more selfish with their team. Yeah. They don't like to share no more. Shakur did the same thing with who?
Coach K. With
Coach K, right? He got to a point where he's like, yeah, man, I really appreciate everything you've been doing. I think we've done great things together. But, yo, bro, shout out respectfully to everybody. Respectfully. I need you here 24/7. I don't want to share you.
Right.
Pause. You know what I'm saying? what happens when those conversations come up?
Right. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
I don't disagree with that. When you put it there, but hey, listen, you got to look at the benefits and like I said, of what's going on, and that's where selfishness comes in too. And that's what we're talking about. And even with being selfish on Twitter, being selfish on where you're located, being selfish on always fighting in your hometown. All these things are coming to selfishness. And I wanted to touch base on that too. Saying Shakur needs to co-main. He also needs to fight away from home. He needs to draw fans from another part of the world, in all opinions. He needs to stop fighting in North for a little bit. You know what I mean? Maybe Vegas, maybe California, maybe Texas. Sorry, he lives in Texas, so that's not even an issue. But back to where we're at, bro. Yeah, no, that's crazy that they are going their own ways. It is what it is. I just wish them all the best. And if he's going to concentrate on Zepeda, then watch out, because I think he's going to be able to fine tune everything with Williams Zepeda and make him more of a dangerous fighter than what he already is.
And how about this, Ray? Everybody's saying that Zepeda, that Subriel Matias fired Panda. That's definitely one way of looking at it. I don't know if did Subriel Matias come out and make a statement saying that he fired Panda.
Right.
I don't know how that ended up working out, but I could tell you this: in the fight against Liam Paro, Panda wasn't happy with Subriel Matias's ability to take instructions. He was not happy about that.
Exactly.
He felt some kind of way about that. He was like, "Yo, bro, I was trying to tell this man stuff. This man is telling me, don't worry, don't worry." Let me tell you, man, I've seen Chris Colbert do that. Chris Colbert is probably one of the worst ones that I've ever seen to recent memory on how he operated, because he literally got the straightening in that round that a guy was telling him. Literally, he got the straightening. He went out, went up against the ropes, did exactly opposite of what that man told him to do, and got slept. He literally argued that man, told that man to chill. It's about to come, and it came all right. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it came the way he thought it was going to come, but it definitely came. You know what I mean?
That's the first time I see somebody get punched in front and land on the ropes behind them. Like they was facing the ropes and ended up sitting on the ropes.
Rolled him up, rolled him right up, tucked him right in like a newborn baby. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, there were some issues there. Listen, the conversation has switched because you're not listening to me. We see what's going on in the ring. God knows what's going on outside the ring during the training camps, right? Subriel is already feeling like a superstar. He wants to be the biggest thing to come out of Puerto Rico. Panda's probably trying to keep him humble. Like, yo, bro, stay down here with us. And then you compound it with, man, Subriel Matias look like Williams Zepeda look like he about to blow. He's right there. He's right there. So Panda is making decisions like, you know what? If you got to definitely come to Miami now, by the way. We ain't going to Puerto Rico. We ain't making this about you. I'm doing you a favor, and I'm going to sit here and deal with you the way I'm dealing with you, but I'm going to tell you one thing for sure, two things for certain. I'm not going to miss out on this Williams Zepeda campaign. You feel me? I'm not going to miss out on what we got going over here. He's disciplined. He's listening to me. He's doing everything that he needs to do. He's got a whole country behind him. Subriel, I don't know where you at right now. We don't know that Panda didn't walk away from Subriel himself, or that they didn't get into it where they both mutually agreed. Respectfully, we can agree to disagree on the way that this needs to go, and we can go in our own separate directions. So I think Subriel Matias, there's a con to it without a doubt with what you said, but I think there's also a potential pro in the fact that if he can find somebody who can give him that exclusive attention that he wants and that he arguably might need, because the fighter, the young bull, Subriel Matias, has a lot of potential, but he clearly lacks in the development department. He's not developed. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not developed completely. He's not a full fighter yet. He's not a full. Well, how about this? Shout out to Jay Bangin, I think was his name. He's an A-class fighter, but he's a C+, maybe a B- boxer. Agreed. If that makes any sense, right? That makes sense. So he needs development in his boxing skills. So who should train him next? That's a good question.
That's on him. I mean, if he's going to go on that Felix Trinidad route, he needs to find somebody that, you know what I mean, maybe Felix Trinidad Sr.
Yeah, whoever, maybe, yeah.
Stays home. If not that, I mean, I don't know. He has to find somebody that has that likes his style and can work with it. There's a lot of development to do. Like I said, he's a late bloomer, and he just doesn't have. He doesn't. To me, never look like he had what it takes to be defensive, and that he needs to work on being defensive. Onslaughts don't always win fights. It brings you to the war. You might win a battle or two, but you're not going to walk out of there all the time the victor. Especially now that people see the way to beat you.
I'm going to tell you, for Sabril, in my opinion, whoever he picks needs to be somebody he respects.
That too.
Somebody who can tell him to sit his ass down, shut up, do what I told you to do, and he listens to them. It can't be a yes man. Sabril is not going to develop and do well with a yes man. So whoever he goes with is going to have to be somebody who he respects enough to shut up. And that's a lot of times what happens in these corners. When you look at Teofimo, I question how much he respects his father.
Right.
How much does he respect his father's IQ? Does he think he's smarter than his father? Does he think he knows more about boxing than his father? Does he factually know more about boxing than his father? You know what I'm saying? Is his father up for the task of coaching Teofimo Lopez at this place where Teofimo Lopez is as right now in his career? Does Teofimo Sr. have the skill set to get his son to the next level? Because if the fighter don't respect what the trainer is saying, that's another issue, right?
Right.
Shakur Stevenson going back and forth with Moses. Yo, salute the Wally, respectfully. If Shakur Stevenson doesn't respect what Wally Moses has to share with him, he's going to have a hard time being developed under Wally Moses's authority, under his tutelage. Right. If he's in a place right now where he's elevated his boxing game to a certain point to now where he's starting to see what Wally's saying to him as not the right information, right? He's looking at Wally like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, bro, but that ain't it. I'm sorry. Wally like, yo, you talking back to me? He's like, I'm not trying to talk back. I'm just letting you know, bro. Like, no. Now, in this situation in particular, Saturday, Wally was right. Wally Moses was giving him the right information. But if Shakur's finding kinks in his armor, holes in his theories during training camp, and you know what I'm saying, and during these fights getting put together, and Shakur is finding himself going, because look who's around him. While Shakur's talking to Wally Moses, excuse me, let me say it the right way. While Wally Moses is talking to Shakur, pay attention to what Shakur's doing. Did y'all pay attention to him? His head was pointing out the ring, looking at Terrence and Andre Ward. You know what I'm saying? He was looking outside the ring while they were talking to him. So take it for what you want to take it. Some people might want to say he needs to go ahead and humble himself and just do what Wally tells him to do.
Right.
That could be it. But another part of it could be maybe there needs to be some adjustments made inside that training camp, because maybe Shakur just ain't convinced, as well as everybody on the outside is, that him and Wally Moses's expertise is what's going to get him inside of that ring with a Tank Davis and get him a victory.
Right.
You know what I mean? Blessings, AK Crowder. Blessing. Eastside Easy says those exchanges in the corner was mad awkward. 100% Eastside, 100%, man. It was definitely awkward to see, but everybody sees it in one way. You know, I'm not saying it's one way or the other, but I'm just saying there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's 100 different ways for things to pan out. What you see, you know, what did Denzel Washington say? I ain't going to even try to quote because I can't remember what he said. Believe nothing that you hear, or part of nothing that you hear, part of what you see. I don't know. Basically saying at the end of the day, you don't know what the hell's going on, bro. So don't believe what everybody's trying to say. What I'm saying is the adjustments need to be made one way or the other, because Shakur Stevenson's heading into a chapter where he's going to be fighting his most competitive, most legacy driven fights are ahead of him, not behind him. The biggest fights in his life are ahead of him. Tank Davis too. The biggest fights in his life are ahead of him. Teofimo Lopez, the biggest fights of his career are ahead of him. the biggest shows, the most important fights that are going to define these fighters
Right.
in the history books are coming up shortly within the next year to 2 years. Is your team built to get you through these fights today? Because the way that boxing has been going for a lot of these fighters is that they're not being developed like fighters were back in the day. They're not being tried true in the ring in the proper way. They're not getting exposed to the right kind of adversity in order for them to develop into the fighters they need to develop to fight the biggest fights of their life.
Right.
You know, people have false truths that they're operating on. You know what I'm trying to say? Like if you slap boxing with your kid in the backyard and you go soft on him and that's your kid, he might walk around the neighborhood thinking he that dude. And you never had that real conversation. Hey, bro, I didn't put it on you, bro. You my son, bro. You really not him like that. Like you cool, but you not him. Chill. Don't just go. Nah, man. If I could get with my dad, the realest. So I'm getting with him. And no, you're not getting with your dad. Your dad ain't been getting with you. Right. Your dad been treating you like his son. Your dad ain't gonna do to you what he doing to a stranger out there. So yeah, man, you're developing mentally. You're getting some education on it, but you're not being tested physically in that backyard when I'm going with you the way that dude who don't care nothing about you finna test you in these streets. So there's a false truth going on with a lot of these fighters, in my opinion. I think Teofimo's really believing like the way he fights, he's gonna beat anybody he gets in the ring with. Right. And I think that with the people you've been getting in the ring with, that's clearly hindsight says it's been working, but a lot of boxing enthusiasts out here and pugilists the same are like, yo, that ain't gonna work with Tank. Yo, hey, that ain't gonna work with this fighter. Yo, he gonna try that with this fighter, he gonna get clipped. He better. I don't know about that. That was cool for your win. Same thing with Shakur, and same thing with obviously Devin Haney, Floyd Schofield, a lot of these fighters. Anthony Joshua's about to get finally tested. He's about to finally get tested, right? Anthony Joshua fought Jermaine. What was his name? Jermaine. What was it that dude's name that he fought? Jermaine something. Or another. The one he fought with Derek. Jermaine. God, I hope it's Jermaine.
I know you're talking about. Yeah, it's
the dread.
Yeah.
He fought him. Then he went and fought Robert Helenius.
Right.
Then he went and fought Otto Wallen. Those are development fights, right? He was developing. And he gained some confidence. He knocked out Francis Ngannou in impressive fashion the way he should have. But now he's about to jump up levels and be in the ring with Daniel Dubois. That's levels. He just jumped up levels from the fighters that he's been fighting for the past 4 fights. He just jumped up levels.
Right.
Is what he's been doing with these fighters who a lot of people consider to be subpar fighters going to translate into a dominating performance against Daniel Dubois. It did something for his confidence. I'm sure he's a more confident fighter, but is he operating in the truthful space? Those questions are getting answered when they fight September 21st, right? Same thing with Shakur Stevenson. He's been getting developed, and I'm not saying they've been cherry picking fighters, but listen, man, they haven't been doing him. They've been doing him a lot of people would argue and say a disservice by not putting him in the ring with the fights that he wants. And now, thank God, Shakur is aware of that. That listen, man, I need to fight William Zepeda to show who I am. I need to fight those kind of fights for you to show you guys who I am. He's not gassed up. We'll see. Once again, the answers will be in the ring when we see them fight against each other. You know what I mean? What do we got here in the chat here? It was good. Anthony Joshua was the most overrated, high-paid heavyweight champion. Terrell, he good, but he wouldn't be in the talk in the 90s. Well, I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that, the 90s talk, but the reality is he's not in the 90s, right? Is he going to be able to be who he needs to be today with the fighters that are in front of him today? That's the bigger question, because there's a lot of fighters we can take out of their era, out of the time period they're in, and we could try to make fantasy matchups and put them in there with other fighters from a whole different era and judge how effective they would be. But today, who is he? And that's the question I'm asking, because we've seen him. But when he got in there with somebody who was like legendary, like a Alexander Usyk, he fell short, right? He fell short. But we'll get a better idea. This ain't the 90s, and these heavyweights are bigger than the guys in the 90s, 100%.
That's true. And not to mention that sometimes you overlook your opponents, and I think a lot in all his fights he overlooked his opponents that he lost. Even Usyk, he thought he thought Usyk was going coming up from cruiserweight was going to be an easy fight,
right?
And he ended up going to the second fight, developing, getting better in the fight. I believe the second fight, which was a much closer fight, still overlooking Usyk. Like, look, I'm gonna try to put him down and get it over with, and that was the wrong tactic. He could have just stayed there and just boxed him, and he probably would have won that fight because it was a close fight.
100%, 100%. Not just moving the conversation along about with the development of these fighters and everything like that. What do you think? I'm hearing that this event, obviously with Terrence Crawford and Madrimov, is not doing as well as they wanted to do ticket sale wise, and the pay-per-view is going to be at like what, $80 pretty much, right? $79.99 I think is the price they have the pay-per-view at. People are complaining. Fans are saying, it's not worth that much. I don't know. I disagree. I think out of all the fights that have been on pay-per-view this year, shout out to PBC. I think they're winning in that their fights, when they finally drop a pay-per-view, the quality's there. But this Terrence Crawford, Ismail Madrimov card is probably going to be the best card of the year, or has potential to be the best card of the year, and the best card America has seen in the longest time. I think what we're seeing is a casual fan. What's the word that would describe it? Brain fart, right? They're getting faced with, I don't know everybody on this card like that.
Right.
Because I don't follow boxing as closely as I probably should be. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know they don't even know how competitive these fights are going to be.
Right. And that's what it comes down to ultimately. I think, and it's also the promotion of the fight. Like, where's the promotion at? That's another thing that comes down to it. But no, you're absolutely right. Like, it's not so much of the casual fan base. It's also the fan base that just discredits Bud, period. You know what I mean? What that fight's going to? I'm going to tell you two reasons why that fight's going to sell. Pitbull Cruz and Raul Venezuela. Y'all don't believe it? Wait till it happens. It's in California, large, and that's a large Mexican fight right there. And
fan base, 100%.
Right. So if y'all don't think that fight's going to sell, you're out of your mind. That right there is going to bring everyone into those seats. Those are each headliners. Well, not each, but definitely Pitbull's a headliner. And the fact that he's fighting on a card with another American Mexican and Raul Venezuela, that's going to also bring a lot of people into that fight because they're going to say, yo, can this guy beat him? This guy has power too. This guy can fight. This guy can throw his hands. Then you move up, and then you have another fight on that card that's really great. So it's not just so much of just thinking, oh, well, the Bud fight is not what we want it to be. And you said Ortiz was removed from that card, right?
Yeah, Ortiz is
fighting
Virgil is fighting August 10th.
Yeah, so week 4.
He's fighting Baja Chuck.
Right. All right. So, I mean, once you really put it in perspective, I mean, you have like a lot of things that's going on in the sense of like people just don't understand, bro. It's crazy. I can't really explain it like I want, but
right. I mean, salute to the Keji, by the way, in the building. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I'm thinking it's just a little lagging going on in the sales. I think people just know that they're going to go. It's very similar to the Devin Haney Ryan Garcia fight, where all of a sudden in that week before the fight, the tickets started going crazy. People just start buying tickets. I think people just taking their time. Something about seeing a lot of available seats. What makes tickets sell is the fear of not being able to get a ticket early, right? Like, let me get my ticket out the way right now. But if you feel like there's going to be tickets there, and every time you look at the Ticketmaster, it's like a whole bunch of tickets available, you're like, I'll buy the ticket in a minute.
You know what? Yo, hold on. You got Andy Ruiz, Mexican.
Right.
Antonio Moran, Mexican. Isaac Pitbull Cruz, and Jose. Man, I don't even know why people talk. Right. This fight going to sell out, bro.
And then you got these wild cards in there, in my opinion, like David Morrell, Andy Cruz.
Right. Exactly.
You got these fighters that are going to be in that card.
Which are Latino. So that's going to also bring You know what I mean? The fan base, bro. Why are we even just? Why people got to stay at it? This is the one thing I told you. It's a pissing contest with how fights sell, and because if I'm not mistaken, even Gervonta's last fight was a slow seller. If I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? I heard them talking about, oh, he ain't selling as much as Devin Haney, blah 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 blah. Bro, these fights are these tickets aren't cheap. You're getting an event. Again, we just talked about performances and events.
Right.
An event is something that's going to last. A performance is something you do one time.
Right.
Like when I mean by one time, you know what I mean, right? You just perform.
Right.
An event is something that like yo, this is fireworks and you know what I mean, WrestleMania. This is an event. You know what I mean? And people just like again, casuals.
Right.
Like
It's
about the wrong
a
thing.
casual brain fart, bro. That's what I call it. It's a casual brain fart. They're trying to they're judging the success on something based on their standards that they put, comparing it to the highest selling face of boxing numbers, and they don't know how to gauge anymore how fights sell and how quality cards still appeal to boxing fans.
Right.
Quality cards are still being able to get recognized. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Matchroom going to make Boots a star. By the way, tickets are not selling and no one talking about the fight. That's the Keji. Keji says, I had a look at the Boots tickets. Looks like half the tickets are still available, seeing as arena wasn't even fully open to begin with. Philly going to come out for Boots, man.
Yep.
Philly's going to come out for Boots. However you guys want to see, even if they got to sell at the door, people are going to come out to see in Philly are going to come out to see Boots. It's been an emotional roller coaster with the Boots and its business, because the fighters dropping out, him not being able to get fights get put together. You know, there's going to be a conversation, I believe, and I believe the conversation is already happening. You know what I'm saying? Boots is going to have some decisions to make, I believe, in the next coming months. You know,
gotta go to 154, man.
I think, yeah. I'm gonna be real with you. He has a real conversation that needs to happen, and you know, there's something. I understand being committed to the mission. That when you sit down with your team and you decide that this is what we're gonna do, you know, there's certain, you know, I can give respect to sticking to the game plan, but at some point when it's just not working, I hope somebody over there is going to be able to have an honest conversation with everybody involved in this and be like, listen, brother, this is where we're at right now. I understand what decision was made back then, where you were at, but today, dealing with the stats and the numbers and the opportunities that we have in front of us right now, this is what we have right now. So hopefully the right decision is made that benefits him most importantly, but also benefits the fans of boxing who really want to see this guy be an active fighter fighting 3 to 4 times a year. Hopefully it aligns, and it all comes together and we all win. Boots should go to 154 and make it interesting, right? Eastside, listen, salute to Eastside in the building. Listen, man, real conversations, you know what I'm saying? Real talk. Yup, that's why Virgil Ortiz moves up to 54. Yeah, I mean, Virgil Ortiz moves up to 54 because he almost died trying to make 147. You know what I'm saying? But
that too.
Blessings come in different ways, right? Sometimes in the most traumatic way, you're forcing yourself to sit down there at a weight class that's depleting you in a way that's physically dangerous. Your body reacts, and you know he happened to fall into a division right now that I'm sure, looking back at it now, maybe one of the best things that ever happened to him was moving to 154, because he gets to put himself into some big money conversations. You put Boots into that conversation, man.
The division becomes hot.
154 shoots through.
It's already smoking. Yeah, I'm talking about. Yeah, Boots moves up, that division changes everything.
100%.
And you know, Stanionis is moving up eventually, so he ain't gonna be there too much longer. So I mean, just like I said, just make way for the young fighters and the fighters from the next division down. Let them rock out. You know, let welterweight be welterweight for a minute.
Yeah, man. Move along. Like, even though Shakur Foster, God bless him, you know what I mean? They had to do him dirty, though. They ain't have to, but they definitely did him dirty. But, you know what I'm saying? Listen, man, it's time to, listen, make the right decision. That's gonna help your career be where it needs to be. Agree, Boots got to move up if he wants those star making fights. 100%. By those guys, I mean Bud and the EJs. Yeah, I hear you, Eastside.
It's more than that. I mean, you got the Lubins, you got the freaking
You got Jesus Ramirez. You got
Ramirez, Ramirez. Oh my goodness.
You got Baja Chuck up there. No, is Baja Chuck in that division? I'm tripping. Yeah, Baja Chuck.
Yeah, Baja Chuck's there. You got Majimov. You got
Sebastian Fedora.
Jeez, it's a division of freaking fighters, bro. I mean, what's his name?
154 real.
Bro,
Brian Mendoza. Yeah, you got Brian Mendoza. You got a lot of big fights that can be up there.
Conwell, Ramos. You got my goodness, what's the dude that just lost?
You just lost?
The guy that beat Fandora. What's his name again?
Yeah, Brian Mendoza. That's what I said.
I'm sorry, Mendoza. Right. Thank you.
Right.
And then and then you got Charlo still there. You know what I mean? You got Charlo. Bro, that's the division to be in, man.
I say Boots got a solid 5 fights up there.
Josh Kelly. Bro, the whole top 10 is full of top-rated fighters. Like, that's not even mentioning Bud and Earl that just moved up in that division.
And the unification, the title unification up there is very realistic, and the fighters are interested in that division. They're not like 135 is just now getting into unifying and becoming champions. Like everybody kind of was not, Devin was in there doing that. Tio was up in there trying to do that, but it seemed like the rest of the division wasn't interested in it like that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it wasn't interested in it. 154, there's a high interest in it. Everybody values that. Like Errol came back and was like, I want to challenge for the WBC. I want to challenge to become a champion. Terrence Crawford up there like, nah, I want a belt. I want multiple belts. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in that division is conscious of the belts and where the belts are at, and they want to fight for them. So, you put Boots gets into that conversation, man, that division is just going to go straight through the roof. Straight through the damn roof, man. But yeah, I'm going to open up the chat. Are you frozen, Ray? Yeah, Ray's frozen. I'm going to open up put the link out there if anybody want to come up and build on any of the topics we were talking about, or have some things that you want to talk about separate, you know what I mean, from what we were talking about. Feel free to hit the link. A lot of things going on boxing. We got a big event coming up here. I haven't really studied the card as far as who's going to be power back. I don't know. Okay. All right, Ray. Waiting on you. All right. Yeah, I haven't really studied the coming back in a minute. No doubt, Ray. 1 minute, no doubt. I haven't really studied the undercard. You guys know what's going on that undercard with the Boots and his fight with the Boots and Avanesian card? I mean, obviously I can pull it up. Clearly I can pull it up. But let's see here. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Let's see who's on there. I know Boots has a lot of his fighters on there that he's trying to promote. But let's see here. All right. Sky Nicholson, just really not a right. Who cares about what Sky Nicholson doing? Oh, that's right. Jalil Hackett is on this fight. He's fighting against Pete Dobson. That's going to be a great fight. Shout out to Jalil Major Hackett, because he just made his move over the Matchroom, leaving where he was at over there with, I guess, Mayweather Promotions. Was he over there with Mayweather Promotions? Hold on, I see you, Ray. I'm about to pull you up right now. You good now? Jalil Hackett on this undercard for the he's on the main card too, with his Jerron Ennis card. He's fighting against Pete Dobson. You guys remember Pete Dobson fought against Conor Benn, right? And I thought it was a competitive fight between him and Conor Benn. A lot of people would say that he helped expose Conor Benn's PED usage. You know what I'm saying? By making him human. What do you think about that fight, Ray?
I don't know, man. I think you said the Jalil Hackett fight. I think Jalil Hackett. Yeah, I think that's a good fight. I actually like Hackett in that fight.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, actually, yeah, he's got to be the favorite. You know what I'm saying? Going into that fight.
I just think that we see something that, you know what I mean, we didn't get to see, like you said, with the Conor Ben fight. Like, what Conor Ben came in, 160, 75, 85 pounds. So that was a big difference. But I think we see some difference. I think we see some fireworks in this guy climbing back into the sectors of showing who he really is. No?
Yeah. Development fight that's going to develop him. Gives Pete Dobson an opportunity to get in there with somebody and get another chance at it, being that he had that performance with Conor Ben, lost that fight. A lot of people thought it was a close fight. I thought Conor Ben won it pretty convincingly, but at the same time, it was a competitive fight at times. That's the only loss Pete Dobson has is against Conor Ben. So a fight against an up-and-coming Jalil Hackett gives him an opportunity to really kind of correct some of the. And I think it was like a last-minute change, right? With the right. So he wasn't even given a full camp to prepare for Conor Ben at the time. So this is a full camp. He has an opportunity to challenge an up-and-comer 8-0 undefeated fighter, high knockout ratio. I think he stopped like his last, like, how many fighters did he stop in his last fight? I think his last couple of fights ended up in. Oh yeah, no, he's got a damn near 100% stop ratio, 7 KOs.
Yeah.
7 KOs.
I mean, look. It's not like Pete Dobson is out there and is a bum either. You know what I mean? He just got washed his last fight. Like I said, he put the career fighter. But he can put on a show, but he's only 8 wins. He's not seasoned either. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's definitely a good fight. It can go either way. I think Jalil Hackett just has a little bit more skill and talent, and I think it flourishes, and I think it's going to help.
I agree. Yo, salute Fly Frequency. What's good with you, family? How you?
Salute, fellas. What's up? I'm good. How y'all?
I'm good, bro. I'm had the little do everything in the house is. It wasn't just me though. It was the whole block, and then it just kicked back in quickly.
We got like a heavy thunderstorm coming, right?
I don't know what it is. You know, I told you I don't know, man. My town be weak. We have these It sounds funny, but around the corner from my house, it's just this pole that keeps getting hit. So
we can't drive.
Yeah. So for some reason, it'll jolt us, but we come back on, and then anybody else on the other side of town or the city is blacked out. It's kind of weird, but it does sometimes shut us down for a second, and it could have been what happened. I don't know, but it literally shut down. And when I was texting you, I was actually on my phone. I was about to jump in. My printer came back in. I was like, "Oh, I'm back."
Ray, my kids got that water ice, Ray.
They got that water ice. Listen, there ain't nothing wrong with water ice. We talked about that, bro.
Yeah, no, but I just wanted to jump up here and give my my thoughts on the Shakur Stevenson situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Shakur needs to do what he's been doing to get him to this point. You know, I don't think he should switch up and try to be a knockout puncher or nothing like that. I think he need to be who he is already. You know, what got him to this point is just him winning fights, you know, and him, being focused and staying on his game. You know, I think the whole thing about people saying that he's boring and everything, I think people just, caught up to, people are excited about seeing, those knockouts and stuff that, Tank has been dishing out, you know what I'm saying? And I think that they're just trying to push that on Shakur, because Shakur is, people know Shakur as one of those upper echelon of fighters, in that division. And I just think you can't push, that you have to have a KO on everybody, So I think Shakur I think he's going to run into some trouble, trying to walk people down and knock them out and impress the fans and stuff like that. Especially if he get in there with Tank trying to do that. I think that'll be a bad move for him to try to stand there in the pocket and trade with Tank. I don't think he should run either though, but I think he need to be smart about it, get on the back foot when he need to be. But I think he also definitely needs to, stand his ground or give Tank something to think about, before, Tank just start walking him down like that,
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
agree with you. I agree with
if
you.
he gets to fight,
I
you
was,
know, and I think Shakur's I think his primary objective there is to become undisputed. If I'm not mistaken, he wants to be undisputed. Tank wants to be undisputed too. I think that's what all them guys up there, you know, are going for now. Loma wants undisputed as well, and you don't need knockouts to be undisputed. All you need is the W, baby. So I think Shakur is on the right track. You know.
okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think inside of the ring, Shakur is doing. I know people have listen. We talked about all types of aspects of the game tonight. We talked about the responsibility Shakur has on delivering the right performances in comparison to what he says, you know, before getting into the ring, and you know that energy being matched inside the ring. And we also talked about outside the ring activity as far as the social media, him talking, and also we put a little bit of pressure on the people that are promoting him to put him in the correct fights. Matchmaking is going to be a big part of Shakur Stevenson's development as far as market value, as far as developing him market wise and making him valuable, making him a must-see boxer. A lot of it has to do with matchmaking as well. So as far as him changing the way he fights, I couldn't agree with you more. Don't, we keep saying it and we're going to keep on saying it. Make sure you leave the party with who brought you to the dance. You know what I mean? This is the ninth inning. Changing who you are, having an identity crisis at this point in your career with the success you've had at this point, it doesn't make sense for you to change what's gotten you here and what's obviously been working for you. Everything else can be tweaked, right? The talking on social media can be tweaked. It can be, you can still talk, but you can talk in a certain way that doesn't put you out there and put your backside out there to be kicked in when you don't deliver it. The matchmaking can be tweaked. Having a promoter like what it seems to be like an Eddie Hearn and that's a great thing that's what Shakur needs to go with. It's like being a rapper. Go with somebody who believes in you. Don't go with somebody who don't believe in you, because if you go with somebody who's got the big name, but they don't believe in you that way, you can end up shelved, not getting the advertising money spent on you, not getting put in the right shows, not getting put in front of the right audiences around in front of the right demographic that's going to help you blow up. You can get with somebody who's a smaller label, but who really has a vision for you. They're like, yo, bro, I know how to blow you up. I already see where I see you at. I see you here on this stage. I see you here in front of this crowd. I see you here, you know what I'm saying, with these fights. These are the fights I know if you give me an opportunity, somebody who's excited about your career and really believes that they have vested interest in being successful with you, that's where you need to align yourself with. Get with the people who believe in you. Clearly, Bob Arum's had questions and doubts on his ability to sell Shakur Stevenson as a big star. He did the same thing with Terrence, right? He just couldn't cross that. He couldn't cross over with Terrence Crawford. And even to this day, I heard somebody say in the chat right now, Terrence Crawford don't sell tickets. Well, that's not Terrence Crawford's fault, right? He's delivered on the fights. He's delivered in the results on his fights. But if you don't got that right team that believes in you, that's willing to take those chances, cross promote if that needs to happen, whatever needs to be done to make you into a big star, then you end up where he's at right now, which is still successful within his own right. And, he's with Turkey, and I'm sure he's getting the money he wants. He was able to accomplish getting a fight with Errol Spence. So, it still worked out for him. But in the long run, it was when he separated himself from Bob Arum that he was able to excel. That he was able to make moves that were going to put him in a position he needs to be put into. Shakur, I think, has to go down that same path. I think top ranking Shakur just doesn't make any sense at this point. They've had enough time to work on him and development on who he's going to be. And I think those are the moves that Shakur needs to make. I don't think changing his style and changing how he fights is not right now. I think I heard Breadman on a conversation with Mill City a little bit earlier today saying that if I would have seen Shakur lose or, get taken advantage of in the ring in a certain way, I would start questioning the way he's fighting. But there's no way I can sit here right now and see the success that he's had at this point and start thinking about changing the way he fights. That's not what it is. That's not what it is.
And also, this is my thing, though, Clay. Shakur tweets and everything, and people don't like it. But how does that hurt Shakur and what he's trying to accomplish? If he's just trying to be undisputed, how does that hurt him? I don't think that hurts him anyway. Him tweeting or saying what he want to say before the fight, and as long as he wins the fight, I think that all he have to do is keep winning and get these matchups with other champions who have the belts, and him collecting the belts in itself is going to put him in the position that he needs to be in, because Tank wanting to be undisputed, he's going to have to go to get those belts from Shakur. So I think he just need to keep winning. You know, I think all of the other stuff is not really important. Tweeting, right.
So
all of that stuff.
I like what you just said, because it's actually going to bring a lot of things based on your last question and your last thoughts on Shakur. First of all, let's take it back to 135 debut for Shakur. Shakur couldn't get a fight at 135 with no top ranked fighters, no PBC fighters, no one. No one wanted to fight him. He came up. Everybody thought he was too dangerous. So they know what kind of fighter he is. Then he dismantles Yoshino. He calls out. He becomes a WC number one guy. Then they change him. Then he's got to fight. Then Loma becomes number one. Whatever the case may be, after the Devin Haney fight, Shakur is sitting there calling out Loma for a fight because he wants number one and he wants the mandatory spot. Loma refuses that fight. Bob Arum has every ability and power in his blessings, in his two hands, to sign that contract, submit that contract, or enforce that fight. He made an excuse for Loma. He hid Loma. A lot of this, as what Clay said, is that Bob does not believe. Hey, what's going on? He doesn't believe that that what's his name is Shakur is a star for him, or he believes that he wants to go a different route, which he is on record of saying, believe it or not, stating, if I'm not mistaken, he wants a Mexican boxing star. He made this public that he wants a big Latino Mexican boxing star. And he said Mexican specifically. Oscar was supposed to be that guy. Shakur already spoiled that in a short way. Then he turned around and was like, if I'm not mistaken, he asked for these other fights. Navarrete, Shakur, Pitbull, and what's his name? What does he do? He gives him the hardest fight ever. You ain't never see him offer no fight from De Los Santos to Loma. You don't see the fights that Shakur gets to Loma. You don't see the fights that Shakur gets that and it's the same thing with your boy Keyshawn. You think this Metramorph guy Moderna? You think if Moderna had fought Loma would have survived that? Maybe. He could have picked them apart, but guess what? It wouldn't have been pretty, just like the Keyshawn fight wasn't pretty. You know what I mean? And then we're talking about something different. So we've seen where he takes care of certain fighters and he discredits Shakur, and it's not based on Shakur's performances. He just doesn't see the interest in Shakur, and he's not trying to promote Shakur. And he did the same thing with Bud, as Clay said. Clay has did not. I mean, sorry, not Clay. Bud has did nothing but beat.
They want in the same person.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Clay looked more like Clever Lang, but it's okay. Anyway, Bud has beaten everyone in front of him, whether it was by knockout or really wide margins in the decisions. But yet he never got that credit from Bob Arum. So Bob Arum didn't want to move him right. It wasn't, like Clay said, it wasn't Bud's fault that he wasn't able to sell. It was Bob's fault because Bob didn't sell him or promote him. It wasn't because of the fact that he didn't fight. He fought Sean Porter on pay-per-view, only had one pay-per-view. That's Bob. Again, what has Top Rank done for these guys? This is why some of the biggest fighters left and created other boxing networks or went to other boxing networks to create their brand and become bigger. So Shakur may have to leave to do this. As far as him changing his style, he does have to add some elements. And the element is that I'm going to say is very, and you did touch on it, Frequent Flyer, is he has to have that willing to take a shot to give a shot. He doesn't want to take that risk. Like I said, we never seen him get really punched in the chin. We don't know how his chin is because he's very defensive.
Here go Ray again trying to get Shakur knocked out.
Get nobody knocked out. I'm just telling you, we never seen him we never seen him get hit.
That don't mean we need to though, do it?
Huh?
That don't mean we need to do.
Yeah, because you know what? If you're trying to win the fans over, right? You do need to take a risk, and that's what the fans are calling out for. If we look at it for the fan standpoint, because this is why we think he's boring. He's not taking a risk. He's not willing to trade shots. He's not willing to take a risk into hitting somebody with a hard punch as opposed to just, you know what I mean? Because he's worried about what's coming back. Bro, be faster. You're a counterpuncher. That's your job. At the end of the day, you had no problem doing that at 126. You had no problem doing that at 130. But now you moved into a division with caged animals are the same size as you, if not just as strong as you, and some likely just as fast. And guess what? Now you have a little bit more of you're starting to smell fear. And you can't live like that, bro, especially as a boxer. Once you get a smell of fear, you got to stay strong. And I think he's turned a little bit where I don't want to get hit by these guys. He said it himself. That guy punches hard. Believe it or not, he punches hard. So
I don't know if I call it fear, though. You think it's fear?
Of taking a chance, yeah.
Yeah, I think fear is a fair word to use because you know there's levels of fear. He's not at the highest level of fear. He's not like
afraid
in the ring like some scared little boy.
Yeah.
But I do think that you know, the idea of somebody hitting him is the idea of somebody hitting him, I don't want to say terrifies him, even though some people might say that, but I think he puts a lot of weight on that as like a huge failure. And I think that some opportunities that are there for him to get stoppages or do big things in the fight that are going to excite the crowd involve weighing out the chance you're going to get hit, right? Like Tank Davis is a great example because he takes chances to get those shots in there. When the things he did to get Frank Marinata, you saw how he looked on the side of his face. You know what I mean? He took some chances, and some of those chances ended up with him getting countered and looking like he was losing. But the other chances put him in position to get that stoppage. Very rarely are these fighters just sitting there. Even Terrence has been clipped, taking chances to make certain things happen in a fight. He's been clipped. He got sound in his pocket by Mean Green Machine. He's been clipped plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? He's been hit. You know what I'm saying? But he's taking a chance when he sees the opportunity there. He'll take that chance to deliver that type of to deliver that kind of fight. And yes, I gotta agree with Terrell in the chat right now. Well, I thought I saw him say something. All the greats' chins have been tested. Yeah, I agree with you, Terrell. All the great chin have been tested, not because they put their chin out there like test my chin. It's because in order to make the fight exciting and to deliver those legacy stoppages or deliver those type of great fights, they took chances, they took risk, and sometimes the risk worked out where they didn't get touched, and other times they got clipped. You know what I mean? In the midst of it, and I understand where Ray's coming, where he says that he'd like to see. You know, we don't know what Shakur would do when he gets clipped because he won't allow himself to get clipped. And it's not about him getting clipped as much as taking the chance to make the fight an exciting fight and risking getting clipped.
Right.
Let me say this though. What the fans want to see or what we may want to see might not necessarily be the best thing for Shakur. That's what I think him not wanting to be hit is a smart thing, you know, and him avoiding being hit, it's not fair. It's being smart, you know. It's the sweet science, man. The name of the game is to hit and not get hit, not to hit and take a risk to get hit. You know what I'm saying? To try to get a stoppage.
I'm glad you said that because that was actually where I was going. Just like Floyd said, the game is to hit, not get hit. You're right, but at the same time, guess what? This is a game where you get hit. Regardless if it's clean, flush, or just a brush, it's going to happen. You're going to find yourself in situations where you're getting punched, regardless. So if that is the case, guess what happens? You're going to have to endure that. You're worried about
Shakur gets hit now, though, don't he?
But he don't get hit with flush punches. He's very defensive. He evades a lot. I mean, he's got hit to the body a couple times, but he's 10 feet away from his opponent.
Well, let's put it like this. When he fought this last fight over the weekend, he had Artem hurt, right? And he admitted, like, a hurt fighter is the most dangerous fighter. He literally had an opportunity to capitalize off of a hurt fighter in front of him and put him away, and he chose not to engage because the fear or the thought of being hit was, I just can't get hit. That's, you know, in those situations, it's like, come on, bro. Like, the guy's hurt. You hurt him. What did you work to get this far where you hurt him to the point to where now you finally achieve the goal of hurting him and putting him in a position to stop him, and you won't take the opportunity because of the chance that this guy might hit you?
Right.
You know what I mean? And also against somebody like Artem Haratunian, who don't even have a high knockout ratio. He's not punching. He's not one of the hardest punches you ever got in the ring with. So why have so much hesitation? It's because it's a program. Right. It's a habit. It's something that's embedded in his brain to where it's become toxic and is getting in his way of doing great things in the ring. Everybody who knows boxing, who's been watching boxing for a long time, trainers, people, you know what I mean, all alike across the board, saw the opportunity.
Right.
They understood it. And they were like,
do you think Shakur understood that?
Yep,
well, if he didn't understand that, that's something that he needs to work on.
Right.
And I have a hard time believing somebody with an IQ like Shakur Stevenson and somebody who's, you know, doesn't recognize when somebody's hurt and recognize when there's an opportunity to stop that guy. That what's happening is it's kind of like that dude who's at the tip of the edge and he's about to do a bungee cord jump and he's letting fear stop him from jumping off with ideas of what if the rope breaks? What if this happens? What if that happens? Well, bro, you didn't consider that before you came up here and decided you was going to bungee jump? You tell me those considerations didn't come in your mind before you jumped up on this edge? No, what's stopping you from jumping off of this edge right now is fear.
Right.
Fear is holding you back right now. You thought about all that before you did this, before you put the cords around your ankles, before you decided to even make your way up into this space to jump off. You already decided that you were going to jump off and you knew what the risks were. Now that you're looking over the edge and you're seeing the drop, the ideas of everything bad under the sun happening to you is overwhelming you and you're about to fall back. You're not going to jump off this shit. Now, somebody could sit there and be like, well, actually, him not jumping is just smart. Okay, I understand. Him not going there to jump would have been smart. He already made the decision to go to become a bungee jumper. And now he's having this last minute smart
epiphany
in his head. No, it's not going to get the respect, bro. We're going to call it how we see it. When you get to that edge, you don't jump and you fall back and we're taking the ropes off your legs and you're getting back into whatever, you know what I mean? You're heading back to the car. We're going to look at you like, boy, you was scared to jump. We're not trying to hear I was just being smart, bro. What kind of sense did it make? What the hell did you come out here for? Don't try to get sensible on us all of a sudden in the ninth inning. We're not hearing that. You're a boxer. You decided to become a boxer. You understood that you were going to be punching on people, and you understood that people were going to be trying to punch on you. You understood that there was a chance to get hit. You got, you know what I mean? You trained to not get hit, but you also know that some people are just going to hit you. You're not going to get into a fight with Tank Davis thinking you're not going to get hit, bro. You know you finna get hit.
Word.
You know you finna get hit. If you're sitting there, not moving forward, not taking chances, then of course you're gonna run and you're not gonna make this fight. You're not gonna engage in this fight, and this is gonna be a fight that's not gonna be exciting. Because the idea that you're gonna make it through this whole entire fight and not be hit is just not realistic. It's not realistic.
Right.
And if you're gonna act like that with Artem Haratunian, who has like 6 knockouts on his record or 7 knockouts, I don't know how many knockouts it is, but it's not a lot. And you're going to hesitate to finish him when he's sitting there looking like he about to take a dump on himself. You know what I'm saying? That he can't even take no more shots to the body. What are you going to do when you jump in front of a De Los Santos? What are you going to do when you jump in front of a William Zepeda? And definitely, what are you going to do when you jump in front of a Tank Davis? Those are the questions that are warranted.
Right.
They're warranted. I think people have a hard time with him being questioned in that way because he's warranting the criticism. The criticism Shakur is getting right now is warranted because of the delivery of the performances that he's giving. He ran from De Los Santos. Yes, he had an injured hand. Okay, fine. Well, you were in the ring with somebody like Artem where, yes, I'll give you your respect. You were stepping to him. You did a lot of great things in that fight. But just like Devin Haney against Regis Prograis, it's the same thing with the same thing with him and Artem Haratunian. When it came down to doing what you had to do, you fell back, bro.
Yep.
You fell back. Why? I don't know. Some people, but I think it's warranted to say you were scared. Right. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe you weren't scared. But ain't nothing wrong with us calling what we seen because it looked like fear. Right. It looks like fear from the outside looking in. Corrected by performing in the ring, not by engaging everybody on Twitter and cussing everybody out and getting into it everybody on Twitter. Because be honest, what we're saying about you is warranted.
Right.
It's warranted. Understand that you gave a performance and we're talking about the performance that you gave us. We're talking about the performance that you gave us. All right. And if we got it wrong, correct it in the ring. Show us better than you could tell us.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Please.
Tactics. I don't know what fight you was watching. That was not the case with Liam Paro, bro. But it's okay. That's how you see it, dog. I'm okay with that.
Well, Blitz said Shakur gets called pillow fisted and boring for outboxing his opponents, but the call, okay.
Yeah, as I said, that's what you seen.
But look, Clay and Ray, could y'all explain to me a situation like put him in a fight with Tank in that situation and how would that go? So he has Tank hurt or he has Tank in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And so what he was doing when he was fighting Artem wouldn't have been good for him to do. It wouldn't have worked.
No, because one, look at the risk you have of like you're taking a risk being in the ring with anybody anyway, right? Of getting knocked out or punched or whatever. Let's say he does fight Tank. Tank obviously has a better skill set and thought process than Artem Haratune. So he goes in there and tune in. Let me correct myself. And he goes in there and he thinks he's outboxing Tank and he's keeping Tank off him and he hurts Tank to the body. Okay, Tank's looking for that get back no matter what. He's going to be looking for it. Rather you try to kill. So
at that point, would it be smart for him to continue doing what he was doing, or would it be smart for him to start taking chances now because he hurt Tank to the body?
Take him
I
out,
think
bro.
Tank can mess around, ice him.
That's what Clay is saying.
You know what I'm saying? If he do what y'all telling him to do, Tank can mess around and ice him, yo.
Well, let me ask a question, Frequent. What are we asking him to do, in your opinion?
Right.
You asking him, you're saying if you got him hurt, you know what I'm saying, then all caution should go out the window. You should just go and try to finish him because you got him hurt. You got to take a chance now. He might hit you back. You might have to catch a shot going in, but you gonna hurt. You got him hurt, so you got to try to take him out.
Okay, well, I'm going to push back and say that you've gone to an extreme, right? You said throw all caution to the wind. That puts a lot of perspective on the whole statement that you made, right? Throwing all caution to the wind would be ridiculous for anybody to say. We're definitely not asking him to throw all caution to the wind. That's just not intelligent. That's just not, practical.
I mean, of course, I exaggerated with that. So throw a little bit of caution to the wind.
Well, I definitely asked you to describe what you thought we were saying. So when you're saying that, I got to respond. Once again, just like Shakur. Shakur's saying he's going to knock people out, stop people, do all this stuff, and he's not doing it. But then when we hold him to it, we have to acknowledge that he was exaggerating and he was being, you know what I'm saying? So you're saying that we're saying for him to throw all caution to the wind. And I'm saying, I'm pushing back at that idea to say, of course, we're not asking him to do that. What we're saying is there's a balance of risk that every fighter has to entertain taking when he jumps inside of the ring to fight in a combat sport. There is a balance of risk. You have to take some risk to get some rewards in life, right? I think it's fair to say for you to get, there's a saying, for you to get something that you ain't never had, you got to be willing to do something you ain't never done, right? There's no excelling in life without balancing the steps you're taking to excel in life with a healthy risk, with a healthy amount of risk. Not an exaggerated risk. You don't throw all your eggs in one basket per se, but you know what I'm saying? You risk some eggs getting cracked to make a damn omelet, right? So if Shakur Stevenson is in a situation to where he has a fighter hurt, there's nothing wrong with asking him to have a strategy on how he's going to deal with that, with the end goal being stopping the fight,
right?
Knocking the guy out, making the corner throw the towel in, whatever it is. I believe Shakur Stevens is going into the fight wanting to stop a fighter. Do you think he's going in there not wanting to stop the fight?
Okay, I understand what you're saying now. So you're saying Shakur had Art hurt, but Shakur didn't. He didn't pursue him at all. He didn't, press him at all. He just fell back.
Not only did he not press him, exactly, he did the latter part of what you said. He actually regressed from what he was doing already. If he would have just continued doing what he was doing and moved forward what he was doing, he could have gotten a stop. He literally saw the guy being hurt as a reason for him to back up off the guy. Like he saw it as he's hurt. Now I need to chill and back up off him because now he's dangerous. He literally said that. That's not healthy. What do you mean?
Oh,
At least
yeah.
do what he
It's
was
crazy
doing.
too, Clay, because he was pushing him back when he was hitting him with the body shots. He was
Right.
literally pushing him back, and the dude looked like he was looking to take a knee, and he just stopped.
And in Shakur's mind, he went, hurt animal, back up off him.
Yeah, he went stopped and went to the ropes and started letting him punch on him. I'm like, bro, what is he doing? It's like, you know what it looked like to me? And tell me if I'm wrong. It looked like he went from, all right, I got him where I want him. Now let me showboat for the fans. That's what it looked like he did. Like he wanted to step off. He wanted to show what he can do defensively and still land punches, because he really fell back and just let this dude start throwing. And he was just like slipping and dipping and catching and pulling and parrying shots, and then just started throwing counters on him. And I was like, what is he doing? I think you even called that out. You was on, yeah. Like, what is he doing right now? Why is he doing that? And it looked like he went on a showcase. And everybody and going on the showcase is not, you know what I mean? Get it. You're at home. You want to put on a showcase? Put that man down. And the be all that unnecessariness was
coming off of that performance you had with De Los Santos. You knew the significance of this fight. This is also the last fight you got on the top ranked card.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you just saw a crazy decision get thrown at O'Shaquie Foster in the fight before that. There were just so many reasons. There's so many, even obviously his grandfather, Wally Moses, was pressing him as well. Like, hey, bro, push it. You know what I mean? When you see all these things, it's adding up to it's fair to ask why. It's fair to ask why, bro. Wally Moses, your coach, is like, yo, bro, I see what you're doing, but I need you to press the gas. You know what I'm saying? We as fans are looking at it like, damn, we see the openings there. Why isn't he pushing the gas? Fight analysts across the board are like, yo, bro, why would you fall back? But there's a lot of people who just want to sell you the idea that we're being too hard on Shakur, bro. And it's not realistic. Nobody's going to think like that. And it's also not fair to demand that of the fan. It's not fair to ask a fan to pay $70 for a pay-per-view, potentially, because that's the conversation he wants to get into. It's not fair to ask the fan to deny themselves of all the things they want to see and just, you know what I'm saying, submit or concede to the idea that what they're seeing is great boxing, be entertained by that. No, bro. You're in a game now. This is not the amateurs. This is not no U.S. Olympic scorecard BS. You got some fans that you're asking, consumers, and I think sometimes these boxers need to acknowledge that word. They need to acknowledge that word. More than fans, you need to maybe it'll be better if you just call it what it is. Consumers. When you're dealing with these consumers, you don't dictate what they like. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to tell them, yo, bro, that burger is the best burger you ever had. No, it's not. It's not the best burger I ever had. What are you talking about? You don't know nothing about burgers, bro. You just don't know nothing about burgers. All right, bro, I'm going to be a not know nothing about burgers, not buying your burgers ass dude. You know what I'm saying? Not coming back to your gourmet burger, not knowing about burgers restaurant. What are you talking about? You better start working on that damn burger, bro. And start figuring out how to make a better burger for me to buy, and stop trying to play with me and tell me that I'm going to buy a burger because you said, come on, bro. We know that don't work nowhere else. So why is that going to work with Shakur Stevenson inside the ring? Salute, Ross Clark.
Right. Salute, y'all.
Salute.
What's good, family? You hear what the conversation is about. We're talking about the pressures that are put on Shakur Stevenson to deliver what he's saying in comparison to what he has to or he doesn't have to do inside of the ring, what we're seeing.
I mean, man, look, I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with anybody, but out of his own mouth, when he was talking about that other dude before he fought Artem, he did say, why should he go toe-to-toe with somebody that could punch? He did say that. And I think people are cherry-picking certain interviews because he out of his own mouth said, why should I go toe-to-toe with a person that could punch? And as a person, let's say if all of us was trainers, do you want your fighter to go toe-to-toe with somebody that could crack? No, you don't. I think at the end of the day, boxing is a science. It's hit and not get hit. And that's what Shakur is doing. So what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it, but I think that I think that, like I said earlier, the healthy balance between risk and not taking a risk for the reward. If Shakur, and once again, holding Shakur to what he's saying, right? Just holding him to what he's saying. He's saying his value, his market value is in a certain area that a lot of people think is a delusional perspective, because his market value is based on the demand to see him fight.
Facts.
Right? It's not based on his boxing skills exclusively. It's not based on his abilities exclusively. Part of it is based on that, but there's a part of it that gets pushed under the rug, swept under the rug for some reason when we're talking about Shakur, or when Shakur is dealing with the responses he's getting from the fan bases, from the analysts, the criticism that he's getting. He seems to be like brushing over this part of the conversation, which is your appeal to the boxing fans that you're sitting in front of, that you're performing in front of. So because he's saying that he doesn't want 15 million for 5 fights, he knows he's worth more than that. That's what he's saying. Well, I think it's reasonable to push back at what he's saying with the argument of, what have you done in boxing, market value wise, monetarily wise, to back up me giving you more than $3 million guaranteed every fight?
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation as far as, how much
hypothetically speaking, if he goes in there against, let's say, someone like Tank Davis, and he tries to give the fans what we all want to see, which is him fight and engage more, and then he gets knocked out, what will the fans say about Shakur Stevenson after that?
But all right, so let me.
He's chinny. That's what they'll say. He chinny.
I'm not worried about.
He chinny.
I'm going to say
that's what they'll say, or will they say he should have boxed?
Right.
He should have went back to his own self.
I was going to say that. Right. I was going to say they're going to say, yeah, he should have stayed there. But where you go? He might.
No, his connection.
He hopped off. But look, I wanted to ask y'all this: when you think about Shakur Stevenson, what's his attribute? What's his greatest attribute that everybody always talk about when you mention Shakur Stevenson?
His defense.
Exactly. So I think it's there because of that. Right. Because of what y'all want him to stop doing, it sounds like.
Right. I'm gonna answer Let me answer Ross.
Go ahead, bro, because we're frequent. He wants to. If Shakur Stevenson comes to you right now and says, I want to make $7 to $10 million guaranteed every fight, you're gonna be like, man, just keep doing what you're doing, man. You're gonna get $7 to $10 million.
So you're saying the reason why you're saying he should do that is because he wants to, because he feels like he's worth more than what you think he is now.
No, listen, what I'm saying to you is, if you're going to be honest with Shakur Stevenson, if you're going to be honest with him and not send him down a rabbit hole, you're either going to tell him, A, that's not for you, bro. You're not going to get 7 to 10 million because you don't got the skill set that the people who are getting paid 7 to 10 million bring to the ring. Tank Davis gets that because of what Tank Davis does. What you do doesn't warrant you getting that amount of money. Are you going to have the heart to tell him that, or are you going to sit here and have him believing that he's owed all of this money when he doesn't sell the same way that the fighting style of the era, the style of fighting that has a demand in this era warrants?
I don't think that's it though, Clay. Because how do you explain Bud Crawford, who knocked out everybody he faced who knocked out everybody he faced at 147, but yet Errol Spence was still the big dog. Errol Spence was still the one who sold, and Bud is not.
Show me the fighter that fights like Shakur,
right?
That makes the money that Tank makes.
So let me
wait for frequency. Let me answer that real quick. Show me the fighter who fights like Tank, who doesn't fight like Tank, or who fuck Tank. Show me the fighter who fights the way Shakur fights and is making the money that Shakur wants.
Floyd was.
What are you talking about? Floyd had errors in Pretty Boy Floyd time. He took risks. He was in
we not talking about Pretty Boy Floyd though. I'm talking about Money May.
We're talking about a career though. When you talk about Floyd, you're talking about a career.
He wasn't making the big money when he was fighting, when he was Pretty Boy Floyd. He started making the big money when he was fighting like Shakur.
but that was based off of what he did as Pretty Boy. He built his brand up.
I think it's because of who he beat. When Shakur beats the right dance partner, that's when he'll reach that part.
Point. Exactly.
I think it's
But wait a minute.
because it took Floyd to fight Oscar De La Hoya, who was the cash cow. Oscar De La Hoya was that guy, and he kind of beat him, and he took it from Oscar De La Hoya. So until Shakur meets that person like a Tank, and he manages to beat Tank, you know what I'm saying? He didn't. Floyd didn't knock out Oscar De La Hoya to become Money Mayweather. He just beat him.
He took chances, though. He fought, bro. Listen, man. Yeah, I agree, by the way. I think when Shakur gets in front of the right people, you know what I'm saying? In front of because I said it already earlier, the matchmaking is a big part of it, right? The matchmaking is going to develop his brand. But I'm saying for Shakur Stevenson, when he's in a situation like he was specifically in with Artem, those are opportunities to deliver the performances that are going to help his argument. And he shows when he gets in that situation, and not only when he gets in a situation, but in his interviews, that when he's in that situation, he's not going to capitalize on those opportunities and stop those dudes because he doesn't need to. He can get the win without doing it. He's shown that that's what he's going to do.
Right. I don't think Shakur's trying to do that, what you're trying to project them to be trying to do. I think Shakur just wants to be undisputed. I don't think he wants to be a cash cow. I don't think he wants to be that guy that's doing he's not even on pay-per-view right now.
Why would he just took the deal? Why would he turn down the deal?
I disagree.
Right.
He does want to be a pay-per-view star.
Yes, he does. Absolutely. Or he would have just took the money from Top Rank. All right, so I'm trying to get to two questions at once, and two responses, and I got to remember I would ask Ross Cloud to repeat his question, but not now. But Frequent, to your point, what I'm thinking you're missing is the point that I don't think I want to see Shakur change what he does, and I don't want to see him go in there and try to knock somebody out every single time to take that risk or try to be that guy who he's not. What I'm saying is when he smells blood, he needs to understand, like, yo, I need to step on the gas a little bit. I need to put some pressure, and I need to find something that's going to make this guy vulnerable to and susceptible to me knocking him out or stopping him. It doesn't mean I have to go take the risk of me just walking into something. Because at that point, when you smell blood, you can start letting your hands go a little bit. A perfect example, and always in Ross Cloud, you're going to love this. Sugar Ray versus Hagler. That was a great fight. Sugar Ray didn't really look like he wanted to let his hands go or whatever to Hagler because he knew the dangers of fighting Hagler. Matter of fact, it took him so long to fight Hagler. And when he finally got the opportunity, when they already made that opportunity to make that fight, Sugar Ray took advantage of certain moments in that fight. And when he realized he had the opportunity to melee Hagler, which was at the end of each round, he let his hands go because Hagler had his hands up, and he was like, yo, this guy's not going to throw while I'm throwing. He took a shot on the chin to get in there to make those opportunities to see how hard he punched. I'm not saying he you know what I mean? I'm not saying he really went in there to get caught and knocked out, but he was willing to take those chances to say, yo, I need to win this fight. I need to prove that I'm the best of this era, and this is who I need to be. This is the same type of fight. I'm not saying Shakur needs to go in there and knock out Tank or drop Tank or do anything. He can stick to what he does as a fighter. Be slick, be defensive, and be smart and counter. But the problem is, Tank's that same guy. Tank knows how to cut off the ring. What are you going to do when you can't stop Tank from coming forward? These are the questions that you have to ask. If you got him hurt, guess what? He's going to probably fall back, and and you're not taking advantage of Tank trying to regroup and fall back. Then something's wrong with you if you're going to just stand across the ring from him. If he comes and he regroups and he goes, you know what? He ain't even coming to get me. He hurt me, bro. I'm going to get this dude, and he ain't going to stop me because I already know he don't got it in him. That's the mindset that you got to have as the offensive planner of Shakur. Like, yo, I don't want this guy thinking I don't have nothing to keep him off me. And if I hurt him, I need to let him know, even if I know he has a chance of knocking me out while he's hurt, I still got to let him know that, yo, this shot's still coming. That's where the whole point of I'm trying to make is, and I think Clay was trying to say, you know what I mean? Jumping off, back to the bungee cord thing, jumping off a mountain with a bungee cord that's cut with one string holding it, that's a hard risk. Jumping off knowing that you had that bungee cord on you and you decided that you wasn't going to take that chance, that's a different risk. So You got to look at those factors, and that's what the whole thing is about. I actually think I answered both questions at once.
But I don't think Shakur is in the position to ever not get criticized, because like I said, if he decides to give the fans what everybody want to see and he loses, then everybody's gonna say, oh, he should have boxed, he should have did what he do. I mean, in terms of on a boxing point of view and not his selling point, he is doing exactly what a boxer should do, and that's win rounds, no matter how. That's his style. Right. Us fans are asking him to do something that he might not want to do.
I agree. I understand that.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's what I'm saying, or Clay was.
Yeah, I'm definitely not saying that.
No, not you guys. Just in general.
Okay.
I'm general.
Question.
He's warranted the criticism because he sold the idea that that's what he's going to do.
Right.
And
right. I agree with that.
Right. And so what we're saying is him doing that at some point is going to work against him. And I'm going to tell you like this, in a fight like what he just had right now, right, is a perfect example of he had a huge turnout. The event was a big event. It was sold out. Newark came out for him, right? Mm-hmm. They came out because of how well he promoted himself and guaranteed that, listen, what you about to see in this fight, don't miss it, because you about to see something from me that I'm about to show you, right? I'm about to show you something crazy. Then he goes in the arena, has an opportunity to deliver on what he said, and he doesn't. We see he literally consciously doesn't do it, right? So now what happens? What happens is an event that the pro of the event is how successful the event was. I heard the viewership was like north of 1 million, like 1 point something million was how many, was like the most viewed show that he had. But now what happened? He showed he got all these people to come in the arena, and not everybody in the arena, you have to ask them, did they get what they came for? All the viewers that stayed up to 1 o'clock in the morning, did they get what they came for, or what they saw? Did that turn away a whole bunch of fans from showing up to your next event?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it worked to get him to the big show, but what did he do when he got in the big show? Did he understand the significance of how important it was, being that this was his final fight on that top-ranked contract, that he was doing something for his brand? Did he understand how important it was for him to deliver in the correct way, which is not necessarily stop the guy, but to attempt to stop the guy, to see the opportunity and show us that when he gets that opportunity, he'll take the chances that he needs to take in that opportunity. Not get in the ring with a Tank Davis and sit there and go toe-to-toe with him and do all, no, bro. But if Tank Davis is walking around doing a stanky leg, are you about to just pull back now because Tank is his most dangerous now because he's a wounded animal? Or are you going to take advantage of him on a stanky leg and go for the kill? What are you going to do?
Right. Well, we didn't see that with Art, though. Art wasn't on no stanky leg, though, bro.
That's not what he's getting.
No, that's not what Clay is saying, man. It's not what Clay was saying.
Bro, at the end of the so
Frequent missed the whole damn thing.
I did. I really didn't. I think y'all missing it, bro. Yeah. So what is that?
Harden was hurt, bro.
But you just said so you're comparing Art being hurt to Tank being on a stanky leg. Somebody being on a stanky leg is, that of course you're gonna go in and knock somebody out and try to knock a person out who's on a stinky leg. But Art wasn't doing that. He just hurt to the body a little. He was throwing back still.
Shakur is a fighter that don't have a killer instinct. That's his style. It is what it is.
Right.
It is what it is.
Thank you.
He's a smart fighter.
Yeah, but they're saying they're trying to make him do that.
No,
something that he doesn't do.
No,
that's my whole point. Listen, I don't know if y'all know, there was a fighter, light heavyweight, moved up to heavyweight, never fought heavyweight in his whole life. Billy Conn was outboxing Joe Louis for 13 rounds straight. Know what he did? He gave fans what they wanted in that 13 round. Guess what happened? He got knocked out.
Right.
He got knocked out because why? Let me give the fans what they want. I'm going to go toe-to-toe on a 13 round, and got knocked out. And all he had to do was fight his fight, the way he fight for 2 more fucking rounds, and he would have been in the history books of beating Joe Louis for the fucking heavyweight. He ended up getting clipped. Is that what we want to see with Shakur? No, he's gonna keep fighting his fight.
That's what Ray wants.
That's not what we're. That's not what we're getting at. And freaking you crazy. Anyway,
I saw it before from you, Ray.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, what I think the problem is, I think we're misunderstanding that it was the promotion of the boxer himself going into this fight saying, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to beat the brakes off this dude and no one's going to stop me. The dude said to him, and look, you got your running shoes? Should I bring mine? Did he not say that? So he's telling him,
was Shakur running though?
Hold on. Listen, he said, you're not going to knock me out. And I know you're not going to knock me out. I'm going to stand in front of you. And guess what? He proved that. And Shakur's point was, I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to make you. I'm going to punish you. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to make you. You know what I mean? I'm going to win this fight. Y'all watch. Telling the fans, y'all watch what I do to this dude. Watch what I do to him. And then he didn't. And the point is, I'm making is he didn't live up to his words. We got to remember, we live in a world where sometimes, like social media, right? So now when we got a person live in front of us, we're living in a world where this guy is trying to make a point and he's trying to make a demand that he's going to do something and he's not living up to it. We take you for your word. Guess what? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And he just fooled the world twice. So everyone's upset with him over that factor. That's what we're missing.
But Ray, isn't that part of promotion? Isn't that part of promotion? Like I said before, Floyd Mayweather was wearing a whole gladiator suit, a full-on gladiator suit.
Keep it low. Let's keep it low. Let's be Floyd at this.
No. We gotta keep it fair. And he went in there.
Let's go with Devin. Right? Devin lived up to everything everybody said. He came out, said he's gonna beat up everybody. He said he's gonna clip Ryan Garcia, knock him out, do this, do that. Devin attempted to do those things, regardless if he said he was going to do it or not. He was going. He didn't do it, but he did clip him. Right? He stood in there, like he said. He said, "I'm not running." So
throw him in the back, Clay. He ain't supposed to be talking about Devin Haney.
But Ray, he tried to give the fans what he did. He gave a fight that the kind of fight that he doesn't do. And guess what? He ended up being a losing end.
But
whereas Floyd, who's smart, come on, man.
The difference on that. The reason why he did that was not basically on the fans. That was for his own self-belief because of what he did to Regis.
Self-belief.
Because he was at 140, he did not finish that fight. And he said, I had him where I had him. And his mind said, the next fight, I'm going to beat Ryan Garcia. I can drop Ryan Garcia because this is the weight I need to be at with my power and where it is. That's why he went to that fight that way. It wasn't really the fan base. It was him believing that he could have just knocked this guy out.
Either way, he still
Ray. You don't know that for sure.
Either way, he still fought a fight
that wasn't his fight. I agree. But the point is, he took the chance. At the end of the day, we're just saying take a chance every once in a while. We're not telling you got to go in there and do it all day, every day. Just take a chance.
Boxing is to hit and not get hit. Shakur is. Okay, let me ask y'all a question. What did Foster do wrong in his last fight?
I don't think he did anything wrong, but people might say that he should engage more, but he got robbed. I mean, he got robbed,
right? He got robbed. Okay.
What he did wrong.
What did Shakur do wrong?
That B to go to 135.
So how come? I know, but how come we're not saying, you know what? Foster made a big mistake. He should have went in there for the kill and left it to the judges. He shouldn't have fought like that.
He should have.
You know why?
But no one is doing that.
You know why?
Because he's had fights where he delivers in a different way. So if he wants to take a fight off and fight it in a safer way for whatever reason, we know who he is most of the time. So that doesn't throw you off like that. But Shakur was in a fight that was going to be a defining fight for redemption that he just had with Edwin De Los Santos. So he's going to be under the magnifying glass. You know what I'm saying?
But I think you're right about that. But I think
it was a career measurement too. You got to put that in perspective. Like that's his last fight of his contract, so he has to put. When you see Major League Baseball players, football players, they show out their last year of their contract. This guy's supposed to show out. Honestly,
I agree with that.
He didn't deliver. That's what the problem is coming down to.
Look, the truth of the matter is,
we just got to expect it. What if he's not that guy? I mean, like,
but he
because how come we can? But I'm saying, how come we could accept the brawler? How come we could accept that? Oh, he needs to learn how to move his head. He shouldn't be brawling. No one never says that. But then when it's a boxer,
all you're asking us to do is what you're asking us to do, Roscott, is basically be like when Shakur's talking, don't listen to him. Just know he's happening. Don't listen to him no more.
It's one or the other.
That's what it is, Clay.
It's definitely one or the other. Don't listen to him or believe he's going to do it.
No more weight. Stop taking him so seriously. You guys are driving yourself crazy. Stop doing this to yourself. Boy is a liar. He's not.
Hey, that's what it is. He's just a little liar, man.
That's one way to look at it, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. If he's comfortable with that, it is what it is, bro. I'll stop listening to him. But don't ask me to listen to you.
Yeah, don't listen to him.
You know what I mean? Don't ask me to listen to you and you giving those performances, bro, because I'm getting caught up on what you're saying. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm getting all caught up on what you're saying. You feel me? So I'm gonna stop doing that. We're gonna stop listening to him. It's all good. You know what I mean? It's all good. But I'll tell you this, though, also. What I was gonna say a little earlier was to say that a great fighter recognizes opportunities to be great. When those opportunities come, they recognize those opportunities. They see it and they go, here it is, and they capitalize on it.
Right. That's
part of being a great fighter as well, as not getting hit and hitting and doing all those things. Great fighters recognize when the moments come to be great. When Michael Jordan was on the court and it was time to be great, he recognized it. Give me the ball. It's time. And that's what made him great, was those moments. You got a lot of players who scored a lot of points and did great things. When it came down to that moment, they didn't capitalize on it. I remember when LeBron was getting criticized for the longest amount of time for not being the one, not wanting to take the shot, right? He passed the ball. You know what I'm saying?
In an all-star game.
He had that killer instinct that Jordan had,
Right. They that's what separates him between LeBron and Mike. When they try to separate, they be like, yeah, LeBron has the records. He's doing all these great things. You know, look at the points, look how many championships, this and that. But what would they bring it back to when they talk about Jordan? Yeah, but when Jordan had the opportunities, when it was time, when it was Miller time, everybody knew who to get the ball to. Right. Because he always did the right thing.
He even called for the ball.
He lived in the paint. Did all that.
Right. And if you didn't give him the ball, you probably gonna get cussed out in the locker room. The coach was gonna get cussed out. Everybody knew, don't even play with him. So Shakur Stevenson's on this road to be great. He says he wants to be the best fighter in the world. He wants to be recognized as somebody who is unmatched in all these different ways. Well, when you have the opportunity to be great, brother, my advice, and listen, bro, my advice don't hold that much weight because I don't fight. I don't box. I give him much respect for doing what he does. I can't do what he does. I understand the sacrifices and the amount of work he's put into being what he is. So please don't take this as me dismissing all of these accolades that he's earned. But I'm going to tell you like this. When the opportunity comes for you to be great, that's going to separate you from everybody else. Terrence Crawford, when he has the opportunity, when he sees it, he attacks it. And maybe, do you guys want to say that he's attacking it recklessly? That he's going there without abandonment, you know what I'm saying? And putting him in danger? Or is he just taking a calculated risk because he sees he has an opportunity? He's like, I'm going to take this chance to be great. Canelo Alvarez shares the same genes. You know what I'm saying? Even Floyd Mayweather jumped on these opportunities when he's seen them. You know what I'm saying? He didn't play. When he fought against Victor Ortiz should have had his hands up, right? Because as soon as that ref said, go, there's my opportunity. Beep, 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 beep. I don't care what nobody says. I'm going to put him down. So,
yeah, Clay. But also, like, how many times we heard like a good trainer say, "Keep doing what you're doing, and the knockout will come." You know, and Shakur got knockouts. You know, not necessarily him chasing the person down or nothing like that. But you know, sometimes you just, you know, a person get caught. You walk somebody into something, and you get the knockout. You know, you get the stoppage. You know, Shakur got some stoppages.
Shakur didn't continue doing what he was doing against Artem. He stopped.
Right. He had the opportunity to walk him into something.
He literally was attacking this dude's body for about 4 consecutive rounds to get him to the point to where he was hurt. And then right when the dude was hurt, he didn't keep doing what he was doing. All of a sudden, he fell back off the dude.
No, he started showboating.
Yeah. Players messed up too, bro. He probably made a mistake. It probably was a mistake. I mean,
Clay, on our end, we all saying that. But in the ring, what if he couldn't stop him? What if it was something in there where he felt like, man, I can't get this dude out of there. These body shots ain't enough. Whatever is not enough. I got to go back to being, the cautious fighter. We don't know because he was breaking down Artem, but Artem wasn't folding. He was still coming.
Right.
Sometimes we see stuff that the fighter actually don't see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So actually, right, but also that's what your corner man is there for.
Yo, hold not to cut you off, but let me just get this super chat out the way. I've been sitting on it for like 15 minutes. Shout out to J Pit City. What Jay-Z said, no matter where you go, you are what you are, player, and you can try to change, but that's just the top layer. 100%, man. I think that was said very well. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ray.
Yeah, so now I was saying, like, his corner's telling him what they see. They're the people he's supposed to trust and listen to. Those are the coaches on the sideline, and they get to see what's going on live. So you're right. What we see in the ring and what we see on these different networks and stuff. Yeah, we don't see what we see different things because we're watching it from the outside. But so is that corner. And if that corner says, "Yo, you got him, bro. Just take him out. Do this, do that." That's what you're supposed to listen to. Your guy in your corner. You're not supposed to sit there and look at your fans in the stands and your baby mamas and your boys that you box with, you know what I mean, that you share. You're supposed to sit there and be like, yo, okay, you believe I got this? And he say, yeah. Like, okay, stick to your plan. When you see him hurt again, going for the kill. That's it. Don't leave it on the judges. It's your last fight. Only thing, and I promise you, only thing that saved him from losing his title, I guarantee you, if Haratunian was a freaking top-ranked fighter, he'd have walked out with that belt. I guarantee it. Because they would have took that belt from Shakur. And it was the point that they plan on Shakur coming back. They don't believe his value is going to be worth anything anywhere else. And they know he's going to come back. They're going to hold on to him. He's probably going to lose money on that deal he was offered. So now he goes, Haratunian, let's like him, they're not going to get a belt to a PBC fighter. So it is what it is. But, hey, I'm going to call it for what it is, though. Shakur should just finish this dude at the end of the day. But guess what? He won the fight.
But what if he couldn't? But Ray,
he should have.
But Ray, what if he couldn't? What if he couldn't finish him?
Look, I said should have. You said could have. We could say would have. We didn't. You're right. It is what it is. He won the fight. At the end of the day, he won the fight. I'm happy with the results. I think he did enough for the performance. But I think it's not. It's like you pulling up with your daggone Rossclot. You drive a Hellcat, bro. Got the little, I ain't gonna say, you got the nice black wheels, it's lowered, got the little supercharger with the nitrous in it and everything. Yeah. Clay roll up with the Pinto, with the Toyota Supermotor swapped into it. And you talking like, look at this car, bro. He ain't got nothing for me. Freaking roll up with the Honda Civic with the turbo on it, the K2024 swapped out. Oh, he ain't got nothing for me. And you just know it. Right? You just know it. You get to that tree and it's go. And you sit there and you like, look, I got him because your car just took off on him. But then here comes Clay. You know what I mean? You're like, yo, what? Why is this guy walking me down? Out of nowhere, here come Freaking. You know what I mean? V-Tech kick in, he kicking, boom, he going. And you like, yo, how I lose this race to these dudes? Because you knew, because your car was prettier, newer.
Well, Frequent ain't gonna even know we in a race.
Had the bell, but had all them bells and whistles, and you sat there and you slept on these dudes, and you let off the gas because you thought you had them because you had such a big lead. But then they just kept pushing and they motored you, and that's what I'm saying. He could have ended up with something really bad happening.
You're right. I mean, the guy is a cautious fighter. It is what it is, man.
Right. Finish the fight, man. That's all we saying. Just finish it when you have the opportunity. Not going there reckless. That's what we're saying. Don't be reckless.
And Rossclot, I know my way around RC cars too. I'm soldering a car right now.
I think that for what Shakur Stevenson, what it comes down to is when there's an opportunity, bro. When the opportunity comes, go for it, bro. Like if the opportunity's there, if like you're saying, Rossclot, it wasn't there, he saw something. Okay, fine. You know what I mean? But you know, from the outside looking in, and that's the only seat we have in the house, bro. The only seat anybody has in the house is from the outside looking in. None of us know what's really going on inside that ring. But look, man, you trying to sell to us this whole idea that you're this kind of fighter, bro. When we see opportunities like that against somebody like an Artem Haratunian, who's not even a puncher like that, and he's hurt and he's sitting there looking like he's looking for a toilet bowl, like can somebody point me to the bathroom? You know what I'm saying? He looking like that, and you look at that like, oh man, he got to take a dump. That's when you got to back up off him. Let me tell you, the most dangerous man in the world is a man who got to take a dump. If a man got to take a dump, you don't run up on no man who got to take no dump, bro. You got to know he dangerous. Come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like at some point, you want to some effort put forward into what you're saying you're trying to do. You don't got to do it, but I'd like to see an effort.
But what if that's Shakur's plan is to lie to the damn fans to sell fights every time? Who knows? We don't know.
Eventually he's gonna go.
Because he don't got the killer instinct. We seen it. He doesn't have the killer instinct.
Infamy sells too, bro.
What? What sells?
Infamy.
JP City got me cracking up.
Look, man. Look, man. Look, it is what it is, bro. Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Shakur has some things to figure out. You know, us in this space right here, on this platform, we're all boxing fans. We're gonna watch the shit anyway because we either too stupid to know any better or we're just too much of a fan of boxing. We're gonna watch the shit, right?
Hey, I try not to kill these fighters too much anyway because they just be trying to make up an excuse not to see the fight, bro. They can be like, oh, Shakur's boring, man. He don't got no killer instinct, man. Tank don't even need to fight that dude, man. And then we see Tank fighting some other guy. You know what I'm saying? Instead of Shakur.
I mean, I could tell y'all right now, if Tank fights Shakur, be prepared for possibly a boring fight because Shakur is not going to engage with that man. Let's just keep it a buck.
I'd say he might surprise us and start wailing on him in the front.
They got Tank at number 1. They got Loma at number 2, Zepeda at 3, and Shakur at 4. How did that happen, bro? Yeah, when did Shakur lose or something?
Listen, man. Shakur was running from a C-class puncher. Ain't no way he's going to go toe-to-toe and get the fans what they want versus an A-class puncher. It ain't going to happen, y'all. I want to see it. I want to see the track meet. I want to see it.
Yeah. Oh, so you think Shakur going to get in there with Tank and run?
Herbert say he bringing his shoes so Shakur can use them.
No, he not going to run frequent. He going to box, you know what I mean? The sweet science, but
all I can say is Tank better double up on leg day, bro.
Yeah,
he just gotta double up.
At the end of the day, Shakur's gonna make sure he don't get hit. That's gonna be his biggest priority fighting against St. Davis.
I told you
and look, as he should.
I was gonna say that's smart. You know what I'm saying? That's not fair right there. That's smart.
Tank gonna make that the smallest ring possible, bro. He ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you right now. Look, Hubbard know what I'm talking about. That ring ain't gonna be nowhere near the ring size that Shakur used to.
I just want to see the fight, bro.
Yeah, me too. Same thing with me. Same thing with me. Now everybody's putting pressure on. I don't know, man. This Jerron Boots and his conversation. He's got the event coming up this week. You know what I mean? He's got the big event. His big event going to be in Philadelphia, Wells Fargo Center. He's fighting against David Avanesian. I mean, the only positive thing, two positive things come out of that fight for Jerron Boots Ennis. A, he shares a common opponent with Terrence Crawford. B, he's active, right? Outside of that, there's no belts involved. There's no legacy involved. There's no, there's nothing moving for him. Ultimately, Jerron Boots Ennis is inside the 147 division to become an undisputed champion. Right. We got the people on the panel. I respect both guys on the panel here between Ross Cott and Flyer Frequency. Obviously, we don't have to say that about Ray. He's my co-host. So, I'm saying that speaks for itself. But Jerron Ennis, man, this 147 mission to become undisputed champion in this weight class division. What say you guys, bro? How realistic is that? Is he wasting his time? Does he need to consider making some moves and getting some legacy fights and big money fights that could be made for him? Fights that could be made for him at 154, or does he stay committed to what he's doing? Because right now, everybody's still talking about, when you talk about Jerron Boots Ennis, what are they talking about? Him and Bud. We know Bud ain't coming back to 147 to fight that man. What are we talking about?
Well, it is a belt on the line, first of all, though, right? Because Boots got the belt, I think. Yeah,
but
Boots got a belt.
for Boots is no belt on the line. There's no gain for
No
Boots.
pressure.
There's only
Like,
loss.
Oh yeah. Nobody want to fight Boots, man.
All right, Ross.
Who did we see that got so many fighters pulling out of fights and just not willing to jump in the ring with him? I don't know that it's nobody else in this era that
in this
that
era,
happened to
yeah, not in this era, but there's
to that magnitude. Every other fight, somebody's pulling out of a fight with Jerron Boots Ennis, or fights not getting made because people don't want to share the ring with him.
Yeah,
Like,
salute, Rick Tim. Salute. Yeah, man. I mean, look, man, you get to a point where come on, bro. It gets to a point where you have to acknowledge what the environment is telling you, bro. Oscar De La Hoya said something brilliant one time, and I'm not gonna throw a shot at him, but when he does say something brilliant, we want to give him his respect for saying it, right? And we'll just leave it at that. Just to say that at the end of the day, what he said was a fighter should be focusing on getting the best fights he can and being as active as he can during his prime time. He has a certain window of peak athleticism, peak shape, peak skills, age, everything aligning in the perfect time to where he wants to capitalize on that time and fight as much as he can. Right. Boots for the last year and a half, bro, it feels like, don't quote me month for month because I haven't calculated, but it seems like a long time, has been so obsessed with becoming an undisputed champion at 147 to the point of inactivity. He's been obsessed with the undisputed championship into the point of inactivity and to the point where he's not getting fights. He's still hanging. I'm going to still keep hanging. We're going to set you up with Stanionis. Stanionis says he don't want to fight you. All right, bro, I'm going to still stay in. I'm waiting on it. We're going to put you in there with Crowley. Crowley says he can't fight you. Okay, I'm still going to hang out. We're going to put you there, Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios has other things. He's having a baby. He's not going to fight you. All right, I'm going to still hang back. To the point to now where he's taking a fight with David Avanesian, right? God bless him. Stay active. But what comes after David Avanesian? What fights is he about to get into now? You got Mario Barrios talking about fighting Manny Pacquiao. That fight is just a money fight, clearly. Has nothing to do with legacy. Well, I mean, to a degree, it's Manny Pacquiao, but it's an old-ass Manny Pacquiao. He's mostly there for the money. What is he going to do? Is he going to fight Crowley? Maybe. Crowley doesn't even have a belt, bro. Brian Norman has already expressed that he doesn't even want to fight the dude because he has so much respect for him because they sparred in the gym and shit like that. So Brian Norman already looking like he don't want to take the fight. You know what I'm saying? And then Stanionis, he re-signed to the PBC and has already kind of made no impressions about going in the direction of fighting Boots Ennis. If Boots Ennis is trying to become undisputed in his weight class division, how realistic is it at this point?
Right. And I think I said that to Frequent one time. He was saying he can go there, stay there and collect the belts. I was like, there's no point. You don't have the other title holders do not have to engage in a fight with you. They don't have to make these fights with you. You're trying to force somebody to do something they don't have to do. They could just stay away from you. They're staying away from you now. The people that don't have belts are staying away from you. Man, go up to 154, unify there. There's better opportunities, there's more opportunities, and you'll feel at home. Promise you. Then,
but who's to say they won't do the same thing at 154?
We don't know, but you got to take a chance.
Right. We're right. But I guarantee you, when people hit like you and they punch like you, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have more opportunities to fight people like you. And as you see, the guy can easily make 160. So let him go to 154. Then the battlefield evens out a little bit more at 160, even though he won't be fighting guys that we know super well-known names at 160 because that division is actually depleting with everybody moving up or retiring. So he can make a name for himself. He can get 154, try to go undisputed, 160, go undisputed, and possibly move it to 168 before he retires and be undisputed. If not, go to light heavyweight and become undisputed or a champion there. He has opportunity to grow. And the fact that he's staying somewhere where it's like he's going to the party and nobody wants to open the door to let him in. You know what I mean? Like, yo,
but we know Bud not staying at 154 though, right? We know Bud moving up because he's going after Canelo.
Okay, well, we're talking about Bud. He's still a whole division. We just went over the whole division. I mean, he has about literally the whole top 10 of that division he can go after. I mean, I can go over it again with you. I mean, what we got? We got Earl Spence. We got Charles Conway. We got freaking Erickson Lubin, Xander Zayas, Virgil Ortiz, Tim Tszyu, Josh Kelly, Jesus Ramos, Brian Mendoza. What's the dude what's the name for the dude from Argentina?
Who the belt holders though? Ray?
Jamal Charlo. Who the belt holders?
Majimov, 147 or 154.
Majimov, Fedora, and Mutazelev or whatever his name is.
You got that IBF, right?
Right. So you have
plenty of fight that Boots could make.
Right. So you have a lot of fighters, and there's no one or two in that in the IBF rankings. So he can move up and take the number one spot just by fighting Erickson Lubin, or Tim Tszyu. Or Josh Kelly, Jesus Ramos. He could beat any of those guys and move number one.
And all three of those guys will fight Boots, bro.
Right.
All three of them will fight him. Any of them will pick up that fight, bro. Any of them. Nobody's gonna duck him. None of those names. Lubin ain't ducking him. You know what I'm saying? What's the other name? Tim Tszyu ain't ducking him. Tim Tszyu takes all fights. And Josh Kelly
Ramos. Jesus Ramos. I don't even know who Swaz Spunner is, but I guarantee you if he ranked out, Kellen Walsh is in the top 10. Bro, he can easily move up there and take one of those fights. It is what it is, bro. I'm just telling you. It is what it is. He can easily go there.
Yeah, bro. He needs it. I mean, we've been calling it for a long time. I've been talking about this since back in the day on Candyland. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I've been talking about Boots moving up to 154, and obviously I got all the hell in the world because I want force people out there weight class, and I'm not forcing nobody. I'm saying activity, bro. I'm saying get a fight. Get a fight. You a fighter first, right? You a fighter. You ain't no fighter if you ain't fighting, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now. You know what I'm saying? Fighters fight. And if you're not fighting, bro, we're gonna start questioning if you're a fighter now, because if you sitting there thinking that you're gonna put the pressure, you're gonna browbeat somebody into fighting you, it's clearly not working.
Right.
So, you know, this fight in Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia is a huge fight. Eddie Hearn has a
I don't think so, Rick James.
Superstar has I hope Boots just stay and keep scaring these guys. Okay, I don't know, bro. Wait, Barrios would be a nice matchup for Boots too.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
What does he mean? Nice
Why not, Ray? What's wrong with that, Ray?
Why? Because Barrios is very exposed to getting hit too much, and we already seen the guy he fought last time wasn't even a top competitor and swelled up his whole face. The guy couldn't even see. Barrios gets punched too much, bro.
I don't think he was saying that Barrios would give.
He'd be a nice matchup for Boots. That's what he.
Yeah, I'm saying. I'm looking at that as him saying he'll be a nice candidate for Boots to fight and take his belt.
But it's not nice matchup to me is somebody that's going to get in the ring and make a good fight. That's what I look at.
Yeah, but Boots on the mission of becoming a champion, Mario Barrios is a good fight.
Yeah, it'd be a good, easy fight. That's an easy fight. That's an easy fight.
But
will he fight him though?
He won't. Not if unless he has to. And he's over there at the PBC. Bro. Yeah, bro. I don't know. I don't know what kind of conversations they're having with Boots over there. I don't. You know, maybe they're talking about this. I mean, from the conversations I hear happening with Eddie Hearn, Eddie Hearn is eager to get Boots up to 154.
And I'm going to promise you this.
The only problem I got with that, though, with the 154 thing, Boots, and he got the IBF, I think. Right? And you know that the IBF have that rehydration clause. So if you think about that, Boots has been fighting all this time, you know, with that hydration clause on him. So he's been making that, you know, comfortably, you know, that weight class. So for him to move up to 154, I feel like he's going to have to get acclimated to that division. It's not like he's just going to be able to move up there and fight somebody right away. So that's a.
No, Boots has already spoke on this, and he says 154 would be a breeze. And Boots is a big dude, bro. He has a big frame on him, bro. Boots can go up to 160 if he wanted to easily. He said he's even considering 168. 154, there's only one reason Boots ain't at 154. It's to be undisputed at 147. It has nothing to do with his weight. He's already said it. You know what I mean? That's why he said, all I'm trying to do is collect these belts so I can go to 154. He's already said it in plenty of interviews. Right. I just want to collect these belts. He's eager to go to 154. He wants to go to 154. He's going to be more comfortable in 154. He's going to make that weight way better. He's going to be way more deadlier up there. He's going to be in his world. 154 is destined for Boots. What's holding him at 147 is one thing. the possibility and the ambitions of becoming undisputed at 147. That's the only thing holding him there. That's why the biggest question is, how realistic is him becoming undisputed at 147 when these fighters are clearly ducking him? They don't want to fight him, and they don't have no mandatory power that's going to force them to fight him because he has a belt. He can't be a mandatory for nobody. So how are they going to get these fights put together? How is Eddie Hearn going to facilitate these fights for Boots Ennis when these fighters have done everything they can to not fight him? How long is Boots Ennis willing to wait there? Is it even realistic for him to become undisputed when these fighters don't want to fight him?
Right. And here's the real kicker. Like, what we don't see, Boots is having fun in the ring. Like, if you actually look at it, nobody's really hurting him enough or throwing a threat at him where he's not having fun. He's sitting there doing things like he Pernell Whitaker, bro. You think he's gonna do that to somebody that can knock him out or has a chance of knocking him out? 154, they got power, bro. They're gonna rehydrate to the right size. They're gonna be able to land. They're going to land shots. They still got speed. I'm not saying that they're going to hurt him or knock him out, but I'm just saying generally, when somebody puts a bigger threat on you, you're going to take that fight more seriously. And I think at 154, he's going to take a lot of these fights more seriously because these guys won't be afraid and they won't be sipping the Kool-Aid until he's undisputed or he beats 12 straight fighters in the top 10. Other than that, he's going to have fighters lined up to fight him, and they're not afraid of him. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure. I'm surprised actually nobody up there is even calling him out. Like, bring your ass up here.
Well, I don't know if they want to call him out because
I would. Listen,
why would you call him out for what? There ain't no money in it.
No, Tim Tszyu didn't Tim Tszyu call him out?
He might have.
Tim didn't call him out. Tim just said, I ain't got no problem. Bring your ass up here and come get this work. But he ain't like, yo, Boots, stop wasting your time down there and come get this smoke. Ain't nobody listen, ain't nobody jumping out like, yo, I want to fight. I mean, like, I don't think so. I mean, you want to fight Boots, you want something to be on the line. You know the risk. You know this. You recognize the skill set. You want him to have a belt, or you want it to be for a mandatory. You want it to be worth something. You don't call Boots. It's like you don't call the devil. The devil comes and you're just willing to fight the devil. But you don't be like, I'm eager. I'm looking for the devil. Anybody know where the devil's at? I need him. You don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You just kind of like ready to deal with it when he comes. I don't think nobody's going to duck that smoke with Boots. I think Boots gets up there. He gets fights. I think he knocks dudes out and gets fights. I think people fight him. Nobody up at 154 is a big enough star or has enough to protect to where they can't take a risk of fighting somebody like Boots. 147 guys, the champions on there, they're like, yo, those guys, I believe those guys believe they can't beat him. Period. Or they know they can't beat him. Right. And they're trying to protect their belts. Right. Period.
Exactly.
What about Dev versus Boots at 147, 154?
No way, no.
I don't see that happening, but you know, when that comes on the table, then we'll deal with it then. But there's a lot of other fights that can be actually made and don't have to be fantasy. You know what I'm saying? 154 has Boots written all over it. The same way with David Benavidez. Well, David Benavidez right now 175. We still need to see him tested again. He had a hand injury. He had some things he was dealing with. But once again, I'm all for fighters being active by whatever the cost is. You know what I mean? And it's so funny in this space right now, but the people who don't want to see these fighters move up, they'll sit there and discredit belts, right? They'll be like, belts don't matter. But when you talk about the man moving up to another weight class, that's not right. He should sit there and get all the belts. You guys are just so two-faced. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They'll discredit. Belts don't mean nothing. And as soon as you talk about moving them, he shouldn't sit there. He should sit there and collect all the belts.
You're not here.
Yo, that's crazy. I was just arguing that point earlier today too. Somebody said that Shakur Stevenson is a perfect candidate. He deserves a fight with Tank because he has a belt. I said, oh yeah, but Devin Haney was undisputed and he didn't have didn't have a leg to stand on to fight Tank. You know what I'm saying? They want to crunch the numbers and talk about his pay-per-views, and he got to call Al and all this other extra stuff and hoops he got to jump through with flaming fire going around it. But Shakur just gets the fight.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, people are going to pick and choose when they want to use, you know what I mean, what they want to use to back up their arguments. We know what it is. You know what I mean? It's not even playing field. Everybody's not judged on the same scale. Everybody's not held to the same standard. It's the game that we're in, and you're trying to, you know, hold people to what they say. They're going to find a way, you know what I'm saying, to throw it away and make it not, that doesn't apply here. Okay, whatever. Anyway, So yeah, man, Boots, big fight this weekend. I expect to see him. My prediction is he gets his guy out of there inside of like 5 rounds. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's what I think. I think he's gonna get him out of there. I think he's super motivated to make a statement. I think that statement that he's going to make Saturday night is going to make it even harder for him to get the fights that he wants at 147. I think it's actually going to compound his issues. You know what I'm saying? At 147, I think that performance he's going to give on Saturday is going to make it even harder for him to get those fights he's looking to get anyway. Eddie Hearn has a big task in his hands to get Boots to undisputed. It's going to take a lot of money. I'll tell you right now. Fighters are going to have to be having vested interest. You're going to have to give fighters their biggest paydays to jump in the ring with Jerron Boots Ennis at 147.
Hey, Clay, what would you say Boots' best performance was? Versus who?
Villa Roma, hands down.
Yeah, Villa.
Yep.
Villa Roma was just like, boy, that boy, wow.
And his worst was who?
It's
against
Roman Villa, by
the
the way.
Russian ballerina.
You keep calling Villa Roma. It's Roman Villa.
I'm sorry, Roman Villa. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
What was his worst performance?
Against the Russian opera dancer, the ballerina.
You think Karen Kakajuna was his worst performance?
Yeah, Karen. I don't
Think so.
What, that dude ran the whole fight?
The dude ran.
You know why I said that was
People was cooking Boots for not cutting off the ring on him, but dude was in there just on survival mode from the beginning.
Right. So guess who's number one in the IBF right now? Guess who's number one in the IBF right now?
Karatunian or whatever his name is.
Right.
I think he's a great fighter, but I'm just saying that Boots was frustrated in that fight. He took chances to do things. He tried to make it happen. Like, I actually saw Bozy get at him in that fight. Like, yo, hey, don't do that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, Boots was getting frustrated. Like, damn, you won't stand in front of me. Damn, you keep running around this damn ring. So I just think that was his worst look. As far as the look on Boots, that was his worst look of the fights that I saw. You know what I mean?
I think we need to see, and I think this is going to happen soon. Don't be surprised if you see Eddie Hearn make Conor Benn line up with one of these title shots, whether it be Brian Norman or Stanionis, to get this belt and try to match that fight up with Boots, because he wants Boots to have another title. That's the only way he's going to get one. Conor Benn's going to be the only guy that Eddie could put in front of Boots at that division that he can fight.
Wait, do Conor Benn got a belt?
No,
you weren't listening.
That's not what
what you mean by that then? What was you saying?
Would you like to elaborate? Go ahead, Clay. You got it. I'm good.
No, go ahead.
All right. So what I said was I could see Eddie Hearn maneuvering a fight with Conor Benn to get him a belt. At that point, he can unify that fight with Boots to get Boots another belt or an opportunity at another belt, because the fact that Conor Benn is one of those guys that will not be afraid to fight Boots, and he'll put on a good performance with Boots. You know what I mean? And I think and they're both under the same team. Exactly, Green Villain. And that's the only way we're going to see Boots getting the fight that he deserves at 147. The great thing is, if Conor Benn gets a belt, he ain't got to worry about that rehydration.
But if Eddie Hearn can do that, he can maneuver Conor Benn in the spot to get a belt. Why don't he just skip that move right there and just maneuver for Boots to get that chance to get the belt?
Because he's not able to get fights with Stanionis, Brian Norman, Mario Barrios. He's not able to get those fights for Boots.
So he can get that fight with Conor Benn.
Probably because people probably have more opportunity in believing that they can beat a Conor Benn over a Jerron Boots Ennis. That's the difference. Conor Benn is not afraid of Boots. He knows that's a good fight for him. He wants to test those waters.
Conor Benn mess around and had that Austrian flavor though, bro.
It's okay.
Well, we deal with that.
With eggs on the side. It's all good.
Yeah, I don't think Boots is concerned. Boots is probably like, go ahead and take the offering, bro. I don't give a damn. Just sign the contract, though, so we can fight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever to get your confidence up, I don't care. I'm gonna beat a bone out you. You heard?
Right. No, I'm okay with that. But I'm just saying, at least it gives us an opportunity for him to get 2 titles and get a good fight under his belt. You know what I mean? A top fighter.
100%.
We haven't seen that.
100%.
I mean, the last dude, the dude he beat first, I don't even see him in the rankings anymore, man. What's his name? Let me see. See if I see him. The dude he beat when he was number 2 in the IBF. I don't even see that dude in the rankings anymore. I think Boots killed him by accident. Yeah, I don't even see that dude, bro. Like, it's crazy. Crazy. Let me see. I'll tell you. Yeah, Cleo Clayton. He ain't even ranked anymore, bro. Nowhere. Unless he lost again, which he never lost again. That was the worst fight I think for Boots, though. I think that, and I don't think it was his worst performance. I misunderstood you, freaking, when you was asking the question. That's why I said no. I think the worst fight I've ever seen Boots performance was Karen Kakajani.
What was the other fighter name? Abreu or something like that he fought? The guy who he threw that punch and Boots caught it with the shoulder roll and came back with an uppercut and knocked ball across the ring.
Was that Abreu or Lipinets?
I thought it was Abreu. His name was Abreu, something like that.
There's been Juan Carlos Abreu, I think you're talking about. But I thought that was Lipinets when he slipped under the punch and knocked him out.
No, he ain't knock him out, but I'm saying the dude Abreu threw a right hand, a straight right hand, and Boots caught it with his shoulder, and at the same time he came back with an uppercut that landed on Abreu, and it was crazy. It was a crazy highlight.
Yeah, I think that might have been Abreu. I know he did some crazy shit like that with Lipinets, and that was crazy too. Look, yeah, see, that was crazy what he did with Lipinets. He did something like that, like some weird shoulder roll with Lipinets, and then he started doing that. He did like that weird step back shoulder roll little thing, and then he slipped it and then caught him with a nice overhand. Clock, clock, bop, bop, bye. And Lipinets should have been there anyway. He went down to 140, so he shouldn't even have been there. He moved up. He shouldn't have been in that division, bro.
Yeah.
Too old, too late.
I thought that was the one that ended with the headbutt or whatever. Something crazy.
Could have been.
What do you mean, like a no contest?
No, that was the other one.
Yeah.
That was Hardin. That was Crispian Hardin.
Yeah, the no contest was Van Herden, whatever his name is. Yeah, Herdine or whatever his name is. But we'll see what that fight holds, how much weight that fight holds this week with Boots. I expect him to get through it flying colors. I think somebody said earlier in the chat, I want to see that fight, but I'm also going to keep my eye close on Jalil Hackett. I think Jalil Hackett is a wild card. He has Abdullah Mason energy. You know what I'm saying?
He's not as sharp though. Like, I'm not saying he's not good. I don't think he's as sharp as Abdullah Mason, but he is good. He is somebody that's going to develop into something.
Right. Watch. What I'm saying is in 147 pounds, which is the weight class I think he's competing in that fight. He's somebody who's going to bring some interesting fights at 147. He's a contender. He's a prospect right now, still damn near. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna keep my eye on him because he's up and coming. You know what I'm saying?
Hackett body punching be on point.
Right. Like, I think Hackett could beat the Barrios right now.
Hackett could beat up a lot of dudes right now, bro. A lot of dudes. Got to keep an eye on that kid and see what he's doing. He's young. He's motivated. He's disciplined. He's humble. He checks a lot of boxes, man. He checks a lot of boxes. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But anything else to build on? What else is going on here? I think we have another card going on that.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me get to that. I know you wanted to know about that. So let's do this. Scheduling.
Well, I got a fight going on right now. Me fighting this sleep right now.
Exactly, man.
That sounds like something you got to beat.
It's midnight about that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We are about to wrap it up, though. Yo, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Roscott. Rippin has just moved up to 147 just to get his ass whooped, then went back to 140 church.
Yeah, he did.
I kind of like Miles versus J. Rod. That would be fire. Yo, salute to everybody in the damn chat, man. Salute to everybody who came up. Well, Roscott, who came up on the panel today. Obviously, 5 frequencies on the panel still. Shout out to all you guys. Keeping it simple, keep it boxing. Thanks for helping us build the channel. If you guys haven't hit the like button yet, make sure you do that. If you're not subscribed and you're in here somehow, make sure you do that as well. You know what I'm saying? Boxing lives here on ATP Combat Media Show, man.
You're right. It is Tevin Farmer and what's the name?
Oh, yeah. Tevin Farmer was talking crazy.
Ray Martolo.
Yeah, y'all saw that interview. He was talking crazy.
Yeah.
He talking about he said he 3 levels up, from the competition that he fought, that Matala fought already. And that's like basically saying he better than him too. He levels above him. He said he 3 levels above.
Oh, that's a fight we need to see then. Janabek is fighting this weekend. Yup.
And he said look, he looking for the knockout, the KO.
Yeah,
and I don't really know him. I don't really know him to KO nobody though.
I've heard people who've seen him training saying he's looking very, very good right now in that gym. Nobody, the bags don't punch back, and the mitts don't punch back. I'm hearing he's having some good sparring sessions, but I heard he's looking impressive. They're expecting him to have a real big showing on that card. They're expecting him to have a real big showing. So we'll see. Yeah, Janabek
I think he's trying to line up that Tank fight. He's still at it.
You gotta line up that eye first.
Yeah, Tank ain't fighting him, bro.
Why you gotta go there, Ray?
Yeah. Tank ain't fighting him, bro. Tank, I think literally Tank won't fight him just off the strength of like Tank will use that as like, I don't like you and I'm not fighting you because of that. It's that bad.
I don't think there's no money there for him. I think at 130 there was a lot of opportunity.
Right.
There's no money for it.
There's nothing in there for it. Nothing enough to make Tank change his mind.
Maybe just a shut up fight, because that could be again. We said this.
Wait. If he win this fight, If he win this fight and he knock him out, you don't think that Tank, the team will be looking at him?
I swear, I think they give Keyshawn this fight. If he beats Moritalo, Keyshawn moves right in the picture of fighting him.
I don't know. I think Tank. Let me not say I think no more. I know Tank hates him more than anybody else in boxing. He hates Tevin Farmer.
Right.
He hates him more than Devin. He won't fight Devin. He won't fight Tevin Farmer just off the strength of that. He won't even say that man's name. Just off the idea of giving Tevin Farmer some sort of like recognition or even getting him a payday like that would make his stomach turn. He doesn't like that dude, bro. You
mentioned Keyshawn, Ray. If Keyshawn had that matchup, you think Keyshawn's ready for that? If Tevin Farmer is his old self?
Keyshawn fighting anybody, bro. Keyshawn a dog, bro. He's fighting anybody.
I think
Keyshawn.
Anybody. But Tevin Farmer kind of slippery in there, though, man. I don't know. Pause. You know what I'm saying? But he
about the results of the fight, or you talking about Keyshawn taking the fight?
No, I'm talking about the results of the fight.
Oh, okay.
If
I think Keyshawn beats him. But
I was going to say I think Keyshawn wins. Here's what I think. I think Ray Mortala has a more competitive fight with Keyshawn. I don't even know who wins that fight in speculation, as opposed to Tevin Farmer and Keyshawn Davis. I think Keyshawn wins that fight.
So what about Tevin Farmer? You think he wins this fight with Ray?
Anybody can. I mean, it's a fight. I don't know. I think Mortala beats him. In my opinion, I think he can outbox him. But if Tevin Farmer shows who he used to be, then you know what I mean. He can win that fight. It's very possible.
Yeah, you can box with Keyshawn and beat him in a boxing match. I'll point him. Win, you know what I mean? Hit, don't get hit, things of that nature. It can happen. He's slick enough. He's fast enough. He understands boxing. He has an IQ that can put him in position to do that. Keyshawn probably have to find him. I don't see him sitting there trading with Keyshawn. Right. Keyshawn have to cut off the ring and make opportunities and create opportunities and make the fight exciting because Tevin has the ability to make the fight boring. He has the ability to take away the opportunities that Keyshawn might need to hurt him, but it will be a test for Keyshawn on that side. I think Tevin Farmer is a great dance partner to make Keyshawn a better boxer too. Right. I think he brings that element to the space.
And that's why I think that they would make that if he wins. That's why I think they would make that fight. That's exactly why I think they would make it because of what you just said, Clay. Mm-hmm. Bravo.
For sure. But that's that. You know, I mean, we'll see what happens. Right now, he got to deal with who's in front of him, which is one of the guys right now in 135, which is Raymond Moritalo. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He got to deal with that, and that's a tall enough task. So I ain't gonna look past that fight. I mean, do you guys have him beating Raymond Moritalo? All right, so we talking about something that's not even realistic. If he don't get past this one, what about you, Frequent? You got him beating Ray?
I don't know. I hope he do, man. Just because he from Philly, man. I keep hope alive for him, bro.
That didn't sound very promising, bro. That didn't sound, that's, you know what I mean? If Tevin heard it right there, Tevin gonna be like, damn, bro, what you mean you hope I win it just because I'm from Philly?
Because I don't know, I need to see. I really need to see something, man. I don't, he ain't been himself lately, so I can't really go with that. You know what I mean? I'm hoping. All best I could do is say I hope he his old self or closer to that, and he can get past this fight.
Tevin's last fight was March 2024, and before that he fought in September of 2023, obviously, and then he's been pretty active.
Wasn't he about to fight Mickey Bay or something like that, and it fell through?
I don't know, but I know his last two fights he's ended them in knockouts. His last two fights been knockouts. You know what I'm saying? That was against Alan Lucas Castillo and then Oscar Barajas.
He got 2 knockouts his last 2 fights?
Yeah, his last 2 fights.
What was Alice Asaya,
Lucas
Castillo's record?
Yeah, horrible.
Okay, what was Oscar? Oscar had more losses than wins.
All right, we don't need to dig no further into that, y'all. He's just getting his confidence back up, man, for the knockouts.
Okay,
I said he had 2 knockouts. That's all I said. I ain't say they were against nobody special. He ain't fighting somebody like Ray Mortal coming 20-0.
Yeah, Ray, you asking too many questions, Ray.
Right, Ray got
you exposing them.
My bad.
Ray got to sit there and put him on blast, right? Frequently, like, yo, hold on, check out the records. We ain't asked all that. I'm just saying he had 2 knockouts. You know what I'm saying?
We're doing it for boxing, bro. We're doing this for boxing. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna bring it full circle.
He got his confidence. I don't know. Maybe that's why he talking about that KO. Talking about he looking for the KO. Maybe that's what it is.
That's a fact.
But I ain't even gonna front y'all to update y'all on this fight I'm having with Sleep, man. I just got caught with a nasty body shot, and I think my corner we about to throw in the towel, bro.
I'll do the stanky leg right now. You looking at the clock. We've been looking up at the clock. Like, how much time left in this round?
I got saved by the bell already, bro, but I don't think I'm coming back out the corner.
You good? He said, I got my family in the building. I ain't going out like this, bro.
He got drones flying.
Yeah, man. Look, man, respect to everybody who showed up tonight, man. Nice little conversation of boxing with the people I got respect for, you know what I'm saying? Right, shout out to everybody who came out tonight. You want to close it out and say anything, Ray?
Yeah, you know what? I was actually just looking at an ad that just popped up on my screen. If y'all haven't watched the new Roadhouse movie, man, go watch it. It's a good action movie, good fighting scenes, you know what I mean? Yeah. Conor McGregor in it. Shout out to Conor McGregor on doing that, man.
Superstar, bro.
You know what I mean? That was a good movie, man. I think that was dope,
bro.
But
salute to everybody, man. We out, man. Another good night.
It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah, I had to elevate. Ooh, yeah, why they wanna put me down? So much drip, yeah, I almost drowned in it. I can't come it down. Yeah, I'm way too fired up. I can't slow it down. Ooh, yeah. I see the flashing lights. Make sure the fashion right, yeah. I'm in my bag tonight, yeah. Ooh, I might just pull up before.